Looks okay. Make sure everything sounds okay. Don't give me a fucking ad. Don't give me a fucking ad. Okay. Make sure everything sounds okay. Yeah, we sound alright. How y'all doing? Tonight, pretty straightforward. We have a best of one double elimination bracket. It's a combination of new players and newer-ish kind of players. It's the Bone Ripper role we give to people who won the new player tournaments previously. I haven't had a ton of events for them to participate in, so I just made a hybrid one. And then on Sunday, we have another new player event where we're going to play bingo, have some cool, different builds, all that stuff. Participants, I'm going to make sure that the people who aren't checked in, I know about. Dr. Nerd told me he wasn't making it. Zegzy, I have not heard from. But yeah, we have 9 people playing tonight. Hopefully it'll be nice and quick so I can get to bed and go get ready for work tomorrow and then a stream tomorrow. All that stuff. Let's shuffle 3 times. Get this shit rolling. Tournament favorite for tonight, probably Pigman 202 the best. Literal God gamer. So yeah, that's what we got. Boop, 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 boop. It's shuffled GLHF. Go, go, go. Alright, I'll finish putting maps in now. So let's see, let's do Ash Plains. And then let's do Prague. And then we'll do the Stomping Grounds. And then we'll do Knight's Run. And we'll do the Fey Fork. MP Crossroads, if needed. Down here we'll do Schwarzhafen. Alright, maps are all set. It is best of one, so with only 9 players, hopefully this will go pretty rapidly. Hopefully. What are we watching? What are we watching, everybody? What are we feeling? Koala Duck and Tree Tone could be pretty good. I haven't gotten to see Tree Tone in a while. Let's do that. Tree Tone, can I spec, please? Alright. They're letting me in. We'll watch Tree Tone and Koala Duck first. Alright, bye Totski. Hope you're doing good. Hi Patrick Walker. I better see Help Abominations from this. Oh, that would be Pog. John says the Plague Monks failed? No. No. That's not true. Why is Lucinia typing to me right now? Okay. He's just telling me to do things. Alright, let's throw this up here. Queek will rise like a phoenix from the ashes. I doubt it. I doubt it. Queek's bad. Hellput Abomination is bad, but it's less bad than Queek, if that's somehow possible. We've had a lot of streams this week. We had a stream, what? I guess we didn't have one Monday or Tuesday. So Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. That's some. There could be more. Excited for patch 4.1. There is potential it comes out next week. That's not any insider shit, I'm just saying. CA made a post that said, we haven't forgotten about patch 4.1. And judging by the timeline of things, that is either going to be next week or that is going to be the week after. If it's any later than that, I would be extremely shocked. There's a D&D stream. That's not my stream. Doesn't count. Mutant Rat Ogres need a mass buff. Mutant Rat Ogres, yes, they do need a mass buff. I think they would also benefit from a change. I'm not saying this should happen. I'm just saying they benefit from a change in how Total War factors SEMs, single entity monsters hitting anything. And it should be not tied to the animation at all in any way, shape, or form. If a single entity starts an attack against an opponent, in my opinion, and you can disagree, that's fine, but if they start an attack against anything, the melee defense and melee attack should factor in, charge bonus, all that stuff, and should determine a hit or a miss, and then deliver damage. Completely separated from whatever dumbass animation is occurring. For example, if the mutant rat ogre hurls himself at the enemy that he was standing in front of, jumping over it and swinging at the ground way behind them, he will never hit with the current system. And I don't know why he has that animation if that's the way the system works. But if you just did the melee attack, melee defense calculation, and then the animation is just for show, then that's fine. Then he can have all the dumbass animations he wants to have. Same with Zhao Ming, Miao Ying, and Yan Bo's dragon forms having all these dumbass animations. If they try to attack something on the ground, just do the melee attack, melee defense calculation, and apply damage, direct damage. Don't ever tie a hitbox to an animation. Because that's why they can't fucking hit anything. You ever try to have those guys hit a foot character? You see what happened to Lord Skrulk in the video I released today? It's bullshit. I couldn't kill Yao Ming. Yambo. No, it was Zhao Ming, sorry. It was bullshit I couldn't kill Zhao Ming, but it was also bullshit he, never hit Skrulk. So, yeah, no. They're tying whether you hit or miss to an animation and then making crazy-ass animations was just a horrible combination of ideas. Hey, Fat Kid at Recess. Yeah, dude, the Nurgle campaign is shit. I used to play some co-op campaigns with Anticity back when he did that stuff. And it was funny. We were all doing this group thing. And Anticity was Zinch and I was Nurgle. And I was like, wait, I get one Nurgling every 4 turns? The fuck? And he runs at me with 20 blue horrors and I have 4 Nurglings. And I'm like, all right, I don't know. I don't know how I'm supposed to win this one. I'll batter the winner of this? Yeah, Frog. Hell yeah, Frog. I got a little rushed into the stream. I was playing some Dark Souls. Because I had 40 minutes since I had dinner. And then I was going to start the stream. So I just started playing some Dark Souls. And I'm in Dark Souls 3. I'm entering the last DLC, the Ringed City now. But I got invaded. So I was trying to find a good stopping point, and then I get invaded by this random guy. And I had to fight him real quick. And it was a super close fight, but the whole time I'm like, dude, I have to go. Either you kill me or I kill you, but let's do this fast. I hate getting invaded. I fucking hate it. I'd play in offline mode, but then there's less helpful hints, and I love the helpful hints on the ground, like illusionary wall ahead or something. Patrick Walker, yeah, Nurgle needs anti-large. Hopefully not chosen with halberds, because that would just make them even more toxic and blobby. But I wouldn't mind if Pox Riders of Nurgle got some anti-large. Plague Drones, the Knights. The Plague Drone Knights, the 1400 ones could use some anti-large. Thank you for the tea, Bubba!
Yeah, I just poured it so it's still not hot.
I'm gonna drink it right now. Thanks, Bubs. maybe a Marauder Spear variant. Maybe a Chaos Warrior Halberd. But I really wouldn't do Chosen with Halberds, because then you could just make Festus blobs even stupider. Like, see what Tzeentch does with his Chosen with Halberds, and he just has regrowth, and then think about that with Overcast and Fleshy Abundance, and that's just a bad idea. Isn't that a solo game, Frog? Yes. But enemy players can come into your world and 1v1 you, and it hurts a lot. Coops, I'm going to text Grace that you said hi. Because I don't want to shout at her. Ready to start Molder Mash? Did I not start it? Oh, fuck. I haven't used Challenge in so long, I forgot to hit start. I'm a dumbass. Pestigore Halberds? That would also be good. Yeah. Yeah. Nurgle could use a lot of buffs. I just don't think their blob needs to be buffed. I'd prefer that they buffed stuff that makes you play a little wider or a little more aggressively. And I know you could be tanky. Tanky and blobs are two different things, right? Like, you can be tanky, but right now Nurgle has a lot of synergies for a lot of different auras overlapping that slow down the game. And it's like, okay, but this doesn't have to be the way we do things. Like, we could just have things be tanky, but then since they don't have overlapping buff or debuff auras, you don't necessarily get incentivized to play them right on top of each other and make a blob. Screen blocker, I got it. All right, first game of the day. Koala Duck versus Treet Tone. Ogre Kingdoms versus the Beastmen. For Koala Duck, we have 3 Minotaurs, all with great weapons, giving them anti-large. Jabber Scythe, also an anti-large armor-piercing duelist. And then we have a Great Bray Shaman Wilds with only Traderkin. So far, so good. We have 4 Centaurs with great weapons, including the Sons of Goros. That is wild. Great weapon Centaurs have pretty bad melee stats, 22-22. They do have armor piercing, but they don't have anti-large, so I'm a little concerned there. And then we have 4 Ungor Spearman herds with spears and shields. On the other side, for the Ogre Kingdoms, 4 Noblar Trappers, 3 Noblars regular. Then we have some Ogre Bulls with Iron Fist, 2 Man-Eaters with great weapons, a single Man-Eater Ogre Pistol, and a Ogre, a Slaughtermaster of the Great Maw with Troll Guts, and then Bull Gorger, interestingly enough, and 4 Sabertusk packs. Honestly, wish Mark Nurgle gave 10% more missile resistance. I worry that my precious archers are the only way to kill the blob, but we could see. Again, if they took away some of the overlapping debuff auras, then I'd be more okay with the missile resist stuff, but the current way that some people play Nurgle is just this horrendous blob that's really boring to watch, and it's like, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but it's never interesting to cast or watch. So, complete bias, but I never want blobs to work. Anyway, we are off. The Noblars are intersecting with the Ungor Spearman frontline. Neither of these frontlines is particularly impressive, but here comes the real meat of the matchup as the Ogres slam into the Ungor Spearman herds. They're going to try and get them routing, and Minotaurs are countercharging across the front line. Centaurs are great weapons, trying to get some flanks off. They will intersect with Sabertusk packs. And Sabertusk packs with their 70 weapon strength are very good against Beastmen. They just have such a high weapon strength, they don't need the arm piercing of any kind. Overcast Traderkin on Sabertusk pack and the Man-Eater Ogre Pistols, not on the Slaughtermaster, is a bit interesting. Noblars are already routing in several different places, and the Minotaurs have found their way into the fight with the Ogre Bulls, so they're doing pretty darn well in there. And I'd say the early game is going quite fine for the Beastmen. They're very happy with what's going down. On the far flank, these Centaurs with great weapons are getting picked off, so the Beastmen are happy about that, but the frontline fight is not entirely going their way. Man-Eaters with great weapons fighting in spears right now, but with some Noblar Trapper support, they are getting really good chunks onto the Gorgon. But the Mino bus is working its way through the front line. Ogres are already starting to rout. When the actual Ogre units of the Ogre Kingdom start routing, you need to start worrying. Man-Eater Pistols are trying to fire at this Great Bray Shaman, but they're standing at a weird sideways angle, so I imagine a lot of them weren't firing. And now they turn to fight against the Minotaurs, but That's not a melee fight they're going to want. The Gorgon is getting slapped down by these Man-Eaters with great weapons, though, and that's a great trade for the Ogre Kingdoms. They're doing fantastically there. Both Centaurs on this far flank have been taken care of, but also the Ogres do need to pivot some of their assets that have won over there. They need to bring them back to the middle where they can be useful. Man-Eater Pistols trying to fight against these Minos, but the Minos, as you can see, are trading fantastically into them. They're a good hybrid unit, but Minotaurs are 100% anti-large ass whooping. So yeah, it's going to be a bad time for you. Man-Eaters getting a Troll Guts to keep them in the fight as they continue to punish the Gorgon. But now with Minotaurs nearby that can just hop over and take these guys out, it could get real bad for the Ogre Kingdoms here. And I'm concerned, man. I'm concerned. All three of the Minos are chilling. So is the Beast's caster. Everything else for the Beastman has been routed off, but I mean, like, that's all you really need, right? Your carry potential is all three of these Minos, and they're doing just fine. Man-Eater Pistols, still 11 out of 16 models. They're trying to fall back. If they can turn into a ranged unit rather than getting stuck in all these fights, they could still have a ton of impact on this game. The Gorgon looks like it is about to rout. There it goes. Man-Eaters went with it, but taking out such a large healing piece could be quite good for you. It only heals when it's in melee combat. So, if you can keep them at bay, that'll be fine. The Man-Eaters do need to back off a little bit further. They got some distance from the Minos, but not enough. Now, two of the Minotaurs aren't feeling so hot anymore. One's at 1/5 HP. The other one is just under half. And then there's a third that is very, very healthy and happy. Saber-Tusk packs, these two that have been fucking around up here forever do need to return to the fight. That is a big loss for the Ogre Kingdoms. And these other Saber-Tusks, I like this. The ones that are super injured are just going to chase down Ungor Spearman herds and get free kills to try and charge up that Ogre army passive. Man-Eater Pistols chased into the trees, but they have plenty of leadership. They should come back, and then they should be able to fire downhill. But a massive catch on the Slaughtermaster of the Great Maw. A Traderkin is even going to hit him on the top of the head. And that might cause him to rout and maybe be the nail in the coffin of the Ogre Kingdoms. Now, that Saber-Tusk pack starts rampaging, which might turn into an infinite rampage scenario, which is, in fact, bad. Gorgon gets rear charged by the Saber-Tusk pack, but this is allowing him to heal up, and he'll probably heal more damage than this wounded-ass Saber-Tusk pack can do to him. So that actually ends up being an Ogre mistake that is going to get them quite punished. The Slaughtermaster is now routing, and the Beastmen seem to have things well in hand. We do have a very sudden lag spike, which makes me concerned, because when a game is overall fine, then has a sudden, complete grind to a halt like this, it makes me worry that someone crashed. This game is looking rather decided, but I don't want to have to make that call. Hi, Lucy. So, Forbidden Rod on the Bray Shaman of Wilds is killing himself. He's only used 2 of the charges. He's already down to 1/3 HP. Man-Eater's great weapons charging back in to try and damage the Ogre, the Minotaurs that aren't quite dead yet. And Saber-Tusk packs and other Ogres on the hills are trying to rally and save the Slaughtermaster, who is Troll Guts healing himself. And if there's a Tier 3 army ability, the Butcher, anywhere on the horizon, the Ogres have chased down a lot of stuff, so I'm kind of surprised they haven't used it already. The Slaughtermaster could heal himself an awful lot, or you could heal some of your other units quite a lot, and still have some teeth in this game. But the Slaughtermaster, if he straight up dies, that's going to be a problem. So he's shattered. There's no more magic for the Ogres, but dying is the important part, because it's the leadership spike that they're really worried about. Saber-Tusk pack is tear-outed off away from the Gorgon. Sons of Goros even rejoin the battle to try and take care of him there. I don't know what is with this sudden lag spike. But yeah, with Saber-Tusk packs fighting these Minotaurs, more Ogre Bulls charging in, and Man-Eaters fighting down, I could see both of these Minotaurs getting routed off. The Slaughtermaster still has 1,200 health, and he is still healing, so I don't think he's going to die, which means the Ogres won't take a leadership spike. And look at that. Look at that great Bray Shaman of Wilds, man. He ain't feeling so hot. Saber-Tusk packs rallied in the distance, stopped rampaging at last. Nobbler Trappers are firing in. But the last real hope of the Ogres is, strangely enough, in the hands of a full health Saber-Tusk herd. That's not really something you want to hear. The Minos try and fight some Noblar trappers, but they die en route. More trappers still firing in. We have one Maneater with a great weapon at 9 HP, trying to rejoin the fight on his last legs. And Slaughtermaster's right there. He's fine. He has 1700 HP. He ain't going nowhere. And honestly, the Beastmen are getting dragged down a bit through the muck. We'll see if it's enough. The Maneater pistols, like I said, continuing to fire in. I wonder if it's worth it to snipe the Great Bray Shaman of Wilds and lower that Beastman leadership, but I don't know. That might be too tall of an ask. He still has 1600 HP, and if you start shooting at him, he might back off. Rainy Frog getting the love. This is looking concerning, though, as this pocket of Ogre support is about to all break. The Sons of Goros charging straight into Noblar Trappers. Should take them out. But man, two of these Minotaurs are looking so injured. I don't know. If these Sabertooth packs can rejoin the fight, if the Maneater pistols are allowed to continue firing on that top field, there's still a half-health Mino, but aside from that, man, the Beastmen are out of gas. This single Maneater, the one with 9 HP, is trying to charge in, charging, keeping his leadership high. I mean, he has 21, and the charging gives him 15. But yeah, there we go. Now the charging is the only thing keeping him in here. And a nasty Traderkin onto the Maneaters with the pistols. I'm really surprised we haven't gotten a Butcher yet. Like, I have to think the Ogre's got the Tier 3 army ability, but that Traderkin, is it Overcast? No, it's Undercast. Okay, it might not do that much damage. I actually don't know. It's probably going to kill some models. I mean, they're so low on HP. Noblar Trappers, the traps are going off right now, damaging these Minos, and look, dude, I mean, these Minos are going to rout any second now. These other ones are going to rout any second now. Sons of Goros are going to rout any second. I think the Ogres just have to hold on. Did I have to have missed the Butcher. Because so many Beastmen are dead that you had to have gotten the Butcher. Come on. Anyway, now the Maneater pistols are shooting at the Great Bray Shaman of Wilds. The Traderkin, 2 seconds left on it. They still have 6 models left, and their leadership is doing okay. So it looks like they are going to withstand. Ugh, the sudden lag, man. Why is sudden lag here? The Gorgon's back in the fight, and that is concerning, because he is going to be healing up. That's spooky. That's spooky scary for our friends, the Ogres. If these Sabertooth herds can get a downhill charge, though, they can rout the Sons of Goros and these Minotaurs, keep the Maneater pistols safe, and the Maneater pistols can continue firing. Hey, Groots. We're currently struggling through a lag spike. More Sabertooth packs are back. Damage value is very equal. I know I've talked a lot during the lag spike about the Tier 3 army ability Butcher, but I just cannot let go of the fact that I think they should have it. If they have it, and if they throw it on that Maneater with Ogre pistols, this game is actually super winnable. Because 6 Maneater pistols, it can do a lot in this hyper late game. And the downhill charge from the Sabertooth pack is gonna take out the Sons of Goros and the Minos. They're gonna take a lot of damage in the process, but these guys are so wounded, man. They're so wounded. Oh, but a terrible terror route for still 1/3 HP Sabertooth pack might decide it, unless the Ogres get some key routes right now to keep the balance of power at bay, because the balance of power is their worst enemy. They're just falling behind constantly. And there's something that might happen, so I'm avoiding casting it, because during the lag, I don't want, if any of the players are listening, I don't want to affect their decision-making. Sabertooth pack actually might rout before the Beastmen here, as these guys are so low on HP and leadership, but they're just holding on enough, and that balance of power is really tipping into army losses territory right now. With a rear charge coming in from more saber tusks. Ogres, just hold on. Just hold on. You're not out of it yet. That balance of power is getting too low though. It's just gonna army loss him without any remorse. Mayor Pistol still trying to fire at the Great British Shaman of Wilds. And this is a big problem, honestly. That's probably the end of the game. As these Minotaurs are charging uphill at the Man-Eaters just have no more time to keep firing. Even if you rout this little pocket of Beastmen, I mean, what are you going to do about this that's running up at you with these Saber-Tusk packs routing off? I think that's GG, unfortunately, for the Ogres. The thing I was worried about and didn't want to caster curse was if this Great Brave Shaman of Wild uses his last Forbidden Rod thing, he'll probably kill himself. So while it was lagging and there's still a hope for the Ogres in the game, I didn't want to say anything and affect the player's decision making, but I was like, yeah, I wonder if Koala Duck's just going to pop that and not really notice and then off himself. Minotaurs fighting to the death. And that should be army losses. This is Saber-Tusk routes. Nasty damage onto the Brave Shaman of Wilds, but it's too little, too late, unfortunately, for our friends, the Ogres. They got literally nothing left on the map. Another Dismember trying to slow down the enemy Lord. I mean, he's using his army ability, so he didn't forget it. He just must not have a Butcher, which I find insane. All right, Rainy Frog, if you're still in the chat, you better have a lobby up and a spectator slot open because we're coming to you next, Mr. Frog, sir. What is keeping the Ogres in this game? There's even a Traderkin just to extra seal it all off. What the fuck? How are the Ogres still here? I've been seeing more Centaurs, Grey Weapons, and also Bestigors. Why is that? I have no idea. They're still as bad as they used to be. There's army losses at last. And it was a close game. It was a good game. That randomly turned laggy halfway through. The first half was fine. Second half. Oh boy. The second half. Oh boy. Alright. Lag spike over. Man-Eaters... Mixed value. The Ogre Pistols did well. The Great Weapons were the mixed part. Ogre Bulls got stomped. Saber-Tusk packs overall did pretty darn well. And Nobbler Trappers overall did pretty darn well. On the other side for the Great Brave Shaman of Wild, he did good. Gorgon really got slammed, but the Minotaur's Great Weapons did fantastically well. Centaurs with Great Weapons, none of them paid for themselves. And the Ungor Spearman Herds did well. GG. There's the Rainy Frog lobby. We'll hop right in. And Koala Duck will be joining us shortly. Excuse me. Sam Goodwin with the Canadian $7. I'll round up. Thank you much, sir. Thank you. I never really know what to say in these circumstances, so I'll say bibbidi bop, floop blop blorp. And I feel like that was appropriate. Friday Night sponsored by Human Boy. True! So true. Ian Zero's gonna go fight Tree Town in the bottom bracket. That sounds kind of lit. That sounds great. Okay. All right. For anybody who cares about the bracket so far, 2 matches have been completed, Treet and Koala Duck, and then Father Ramsey and Ian Zero. So now in the losers bracket, Ian Zero and Treet are fighting it out. We still have some of our first round matches going on. Yee. Yee. Could Corn somehow get healing? Do we need more healing in the game? What do you think Corn needs? They seem bad, so they have limited range, which are bad, no magic. Corn needs to be cheaper. That's my main thing about them. Is Corn usually outnumbers their opponents, and then their self-destructive tendencies and their resistance to use magic or ranged weapons holds them back, but they're usually very strong warriors, and there's like a shit ton of them. But for some reason in Warhammer 3, Khorne is one of the most expensive factions on average, and it's like, that's not how this works. They really need to outnumber their enemy by like a lot. Doom Sage, that's true. Old Khorne or new Khorne? I'm a fan of old Khorne. The new stuff just doesn't resonate with me, and I can't tell why. I can't pinpoint like why. I just don't enjoy it as much. But is source weapons and plague bearers mostly weapon damage? Mostly armor? Well, plague bearers have armor piercing, source warriors don't, so I'm confused by the question, Edwin. Mostly weapon damage and good versus Ogre Kingdoms low armor. Plagues among sensor bearers are terrible versus Ogre Kingdoms. Absolutely terrible. Their low mass means when they get charged, they take like shockingly high damage, and then you just lost an expensive unit for nothing. Source warriors are good against ogres. You mean release date Khorne? No, we're talking about the banned Khorne. Old Khorne's pretty good. They did the thing though that I fucking hate. They had an album that was literally labeled Untitled, and I'm like, great. I love talking about this album that's untitled. Yeah, Untitled is pretty annoying. I love that album, but I hate talking about it. Let's see. Paradigm Shift's real good. I like that one a lot. Untitled's really good. I like that a lot. See You on the Other Side's fine. Life is Peachy is fine. Issues is good. Follow the Leader is good. Untouchables is okay. I didn't enjoy that one as much. Take a Look in the Mirrors. Okay. What's on that one? Oh, no, that one's amazing. Take a Look in the Mirror is amazing. Issues is good. I'm looking at the songs right now. Actually, Life is Peachy is okay. Untouchables is fine. Yeah, Khorne had some good shit. Plague Bearers don't have armor piercing, just high weapons rank. Plague Monk Sensor Bearers? Oh, you guys are talking about Nurgle's guys. Sorry, I thought you were talking about Plague Monk Sensor Bearers. I was like, what are you talking about? Plague Bearers are still kind of bad against ogres. They just take a lot of damage on the charge, and then their leadership falters, and they demonic stability crumble. Where's my dancing partner? You're fighting the winner of this, Kaiju. Okay. I had to get caught up on a bunch of messages. Y'all want a single is fine. I don't understand. So here's the thing. When I say this, it doesn't mean I don't like it. Okay? Sometimes when you say things like what I'm about to say, people instantly assume you're shitting on the thing that they like. I'm not saying that. I like Y'all Want a Single. I don't think it's the best thing I've ever heard, and I don't understand why everyone's like losing their minds over it. But it's good. I think there's some other ones from Korn that are better. I think there's a lot of their stuff that's good. But I don't think it's like a genre-defining song that'll be remembered for all time. But then when I talk to some other people, like apparently you, Doomsage, there are people that just think it's like super awesome. And I'm like, oh, I thought it was just good. And like, good is good, okay? I'm not saying I don't like it. It's the difference between like the best shit ever and still good. Electric Cabbage not out yet? Fuck yeah, dude. Are Plague Monk Sensor Bearers even viable? In most matchups, no. Maybe only Vampire Coast, and even then that's a hard maybe. Hey, Hot Fire Potato, faithful by name. How you guys doing? Looks like we have Dark Elves and Greenskins. Opeth, A Fair Judgment. I'll have to listen to it later. Dude, Reverent. It's Reverent or Revenant? I'm trying to remember. It's funny that I'm about to say something is really, really good. Yeah, it is Reverent. Reverent of Rats by Powerwolf is really funny for me, specifically. I love listening to it if I'm going to go play some Skaven. It's good. There's some good shit. I like a lot of stuff, though. Iron Maiden and Blind Guardian. Never heard of Blind Guardian. Iron Maiden's good. Plague Monk Sensor Bearers were good in Warhammer 2. Their problem has always been Burning Head and Pendulum existing. But, like, if they can get a melee fight, they'll fuck a kid up. No problem. The problem for them is just they never get a melee fight. They always just get deleted by a random ass spell. But yeah, I like a lot of different genres. I'm a very mood dependent listener. Like I have my bass when I'm just chilling. My bass stuff is like Nothing But Thieves, which is kind of like pop emo kinda. More pop than emo, but it has a little bit of that like I'm sad all the time to it. Buck Cherry, which is just some like pretty low tier hype music, and I love it, but I acknowledge it's not very good. Most of their songs sound the same, but I love it. Grandson's pretty good, just kind of depressed kid rap. So that's the kind of stuff that I listen to when I'm in any mood. But then I have like some more hype stuff for when I'm playing video games, like more electric EDM, high pace stuff to get your heart rate going. I do like some metal. That one's not like tied to an emotional mood though. It's kind of like just like it's just a mood. You don't have an emotion tied to it. You're just like, I'm in the mood for metal today. And sometimes you say that when you're pissed off. Sometimes you say that when you're just chilling. Sometimes you say that when you're eating a bagel. It's just like, it's a metal day. And then I'll throw on some Korn. I used to listen to a lot of Disturbed and Slipknot. I haven't for a long time. Some Metallica. Metallica is pretty good. It's basic, but it's pretty good. And by basic, I mean like they're doing cool stuff, but everyone and their grandmother likes Metallica, so it's not like, oh, hot take, human boy, you like Metallica? Let me guess, Enter Sandman's pretty cool? Yeah, I know. Blind Guardian's like the #1 fantasy genre speed metal. Sick. I'll have to check it out. I saw the jank Cathay versus Skaven, the duel between Zhao and Skrulk. Aside from the jank, that was actually a good close fight. Oh, it was a good replay, which is why I cast it, but it was also full of jank, yeah. Jade Lions. Jade Lions do need help. It's interesting that a brand new unit is actually underpowered, but Jade Lions are very underpowered. Mick right face? Fair. Gotcha. Old Eminem. Old Eminem's pretty good. I recently got back on a Stan kick. I listened to Stan like 6 or 7 times in a row last time I was at work. Not last time I was at work. It must have been 2 days ago, but still. Alright, Dark Elves made a box, apparently. Rainy Frog in a box with Dread Spears, Witch Elves, Black Ark Corsairs, 2 Blackguard Nagarond, and then 4 Dark Shards. We have a Soul Stealer caster in the sky, and the Raven's Herald Repeater Crossbows, who are going to have a great time because there is literally 0 ranged on the enemy. So the Raven's Herald should put all of their ammunition into Wurzag at point-blank range and kill him. On the other side, for the Orcs, we have 4 Orc Boar Boy Biggins, 4 Orc Boar Boys, 4 Squigs, 4 Goblins, 2 Goblin Big Bosses, and Wurzag. I think the Dark Elves have got this one. Orc Boar Boys, this unit, I hate this unit. I used to think they were okay, and now I just think they suck. Boar Boy Biggins are good still, but Boar Boys suck. They're trash. I think the Dark Elf lines should be able to hold, and the Raven's Herald being completely uncontested in the skies means Wurzag's time is extremely limited. They might get through the box. They might be able to take out the Dark Shards. Maybe, but I think we're going to have 2 Blackguard of Nagarond grinding into the late game, and the Greenskins will be suffering a leadership debuff from Wurzag being dead, and won't have all of their melee buffs from Wurzag's spells. Ooh, and the Dark Elves even managed to take the hill. 1 unit of Squigs gets deleted by the Dark Shards. Other units of Squigs getting in here. Breath attack from the Dark Elf casters, just trying to weaken the Goblins a little bit, but the Squigs are going to take a lot of damage. And the Raven's Heralds are still trying to poke Wurzag, but it looks like he is dodging them okay. They're going to have to move back up. It looks like Rainy Frog's busy doing other stuff. Brainburster takes out a lot of the Dark Shards. And for now, the Dark Elf lines are holding. The Pig Cav in the back doesn't really know what to do. They're terrible at killing infantry. Woshi! No! Big Soul Stealer onto all 3 single entities. That's pretty nice. Now that is, it's not going to heal the Sorceress of Dark at all because she hasn't taken any damage, but I can appreciate just getting the Soul Stealer out for damage, especially when you're trying to Lord Snipe super hard. Raven's Herald need to move up closer so they don't miss any of their attacks. 1 Dark Shard is routed off. It looks by a second Brain Burst taking them out, and Blackguard are going to catch up to some of the Orc Boar Boys. And I wouldn't hate for this dragon to continually dive Wurzag or for the Raven's Herald to move up. Really either, but Wurzag's already down to half HP, so that's going pretty well. Boar Boys did get through the Blackguard. They're going to take a lot of damage for their transgressions, but they are getting through. And the Dark Shards, only 2 of them are still up. They're now trying to fire into Orc Boar Biggins, who are getting wad up. But we are quickly seeing the problem of the Boar Boys. They just don't do a lot of damage to infantry. And they take a lot of damage in return. The Dark Elves are up 2,000 damage value, which the Greenskins really want to be ahead, especially at this point in the game. The Dread Spears are holding for now. Some of the Dark Elves are thinking about leaving, but both those Blackguard are nice and healthy, as we predicted, and Wurzag is not. Trash talking the small bacon. I really don't like Boar Boys, basic Boar Boys. I think they're just unfortunately bad. Murderous Prowess is popped, giving the Dark Elves even more staying power and more stats. And Wurzag taking a nasty volley from these repeater crossbows and the Soul Stealer might get him routing, and I honestly wouldn't even hate for the Supreme Sorcerer's Dark to just take a quick little dive onto him. I suppose there are Orc Boar Boy Biggins nearby, but I think it's worth the risk. Boom, big shot, and a follow-up another shot. There goes Wurzag, and you're going to see a lot of these leadership bars dip, as the Greenskins should have a mass exodus on their hands. The Blackguard are unkillable now, and the Dark Elves will prevail. They're up over two times the damage value of their opponent. And that just feels like that. Army losses is coming in hot as everything starts to rout. Boxes are spooky. Not a lot of values to go through, unfortunately. All of the orc boys just didn't have any cavalry to fight whatsoever, and even orc boy biggins aren't good at taking out infantry. I just like them because they're anti-large and stuff. So they had a hard time getting through, and then no archers made Warzag a dead boy. So GG's to Rainy Frog in the Rainy Box. All right, we're going to hop into the lower bracket. So for the rest of this stream, I will be following the lower bracket most likely because any of those games is going to be an elimination game, and I am going to try and catch people, try and get them on stream before they get eliminated. So we'll be spending the rest of our time down in the losers bracket. Treetone is the first knocked out. Love Treetone. Hope to see them again in the future. They took a little break, but it looked like they came back for this event, and we're happy to see them. We are going to catch Onyx and Ian Zero. That's where we're going now. Electric Spinach is waiting for the loser of Anti-Kaiju. No, he's going to fight Koala Duck. Ooh, that's going to be tough for you, Spinach. That's going to be tough for you, my friend. Well, best of luck. Best of luck. For anybody who does care, Pigman is my pick for today's tournament. After seeing him in the last tournament, if you weren't here for the last new player tournament, he played very well. He seemed to have good command of his units. He broke some rules at the time, and he was very chill about it. He was very great. I had the worst fucking headache because I got my COVID booster and I was dying. And I was falling off hard midstream. I started the stream and I'm like, I'm not feeling good, but I can do it. And I get like two and a half hours into the stream and I'm like, my head's gonna explode. I'm gonna fucking die. So when he broke some rules, I was just like, there's no prize. It's just a for fun tourney. I'm advancing your opponent. Fuck this noise. I just want to go back to bed. So he's back, better than ever. But I do think he has a really good shot of winning this tournament. He was very impressive. So we'll see. I think he has some stiff competition. Frog, Kaiju, Pigman, Father Ramsey, all four of those players are very, very good. So far, I think the winners and losers brackets are kind of going the way I thought they would. Now, I don't think any of these players is so good that none of the other players can beat them, right? Like, if Koala Duck beat Rainy Frog in that last game, I wouldn't have been like, what the fuck? But, yeah. I don't know. I think Koala will probably make a pretty deep run into the bottom bracket. I honestly forget how good Onyx is. I've seen them once in tournament, if I can remember correctly. So I don't have a great read on their skill level. But, no. We'll see. You still got a shot? You've still got a shot, buddy. Hey, Guillaume. I also love the Vampire Coast recently. They're very fun. Knighthood, that was a huge improvement to quick battles. When you could no longer just change your faction constantly when someone picked something. That shit was so stupid and annoying in Warhammer 2. What are some of the best SEMs with bound spells? Probably the Nurgle ones. The Great Unclean ones are really good. Uncle Frunkle is ironically pretty good if your opponent doesn't have archers. But if you can get him into melee, he's fine. So probably that. Electric Cabbage, Koala's power could go out. It could. It could. Hey, man. I told the story. I like video games. I will get to that in just a second. Thank you so much. But I just want to finish this thought first. Electric Cabbage. I told this story many times, but if you ever get discouraged, I played campaign, and then I ran into Turin's YouTube channel back in Warhammer 2. And I tried quick battles. I didn't like it. I ran into some dicks, some people that would like corner camp, or like if I was winning, they would just start running away and drawing out the game and shit. There was like, it wasn't a majority of my games, but it was enough that I didn't feel like investing time into it because I get very competitive, and it didn't feel like a competitive atmosphere to me, and I was just getting annoyed. And then I ran into Turin's thing, and I was like, oh, there's like a community of people I can play with where they all obey the same rules. Okay, I can do that. So I joined up on his Discord and played there for a good couple months. But yeah, everyone there was really good. And I was not. But I was like, I would rather get my shit kicked in by people that are just following like a general code of not being a dick than rolling the dice on quick battle and hoping I run into nice people. So I played in, I think it was 16 Turin tournaments in a row, getting knocked out round 1 before ever getting to round 2. I lost a lot. I lost a lot. And then someone in the community pointed me to my son, Herbert Walker, who used to stream on Twitch. And he had a Fresh Recruit League, which was literally, we stole it from him. Because he doesn't stream anymore. But I'll never pretend I came up with the idea for a new player league. But he did the Fresh Recruit League where it was just like, hey, if you join my Discord, you get the Fresh Recruit role and you can play in this tournament until you win. And after you win, you lose the role and you can't play in the new player tournaments anymore. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. I'll do that. And it was some of the best tournament experiences I ever had because I was like still new and learning, but at least I got to fight against other people that were still new and learning. Because literally, my first opponent ever, then I'll shut up and get to I like video games. My first opponent ever was ODM Zyphos. And if you know who that is, you know that I did not win. I did not even have a good time. Zyphos fucking deleted me. It was my first opponent ever. And I got Wood Elf triple Waywatcher kited. And it was awful. Like, obviously it wasn't so terrible because I came back for more. But yeah, no, I just got completely wrecked. I was like, okay, what do my units even do? Let's click some. Oh, half my units are dead. Oh, that's exciting and fun. Okay, well, maybe I can. Oh, the rest are dead now. I didn't even know what happened. This game was 1.5 minutes long. Oh, God. All right. Thanks for the stream. I enjoy your commentary. I like video games. Thank you so much for the $20, man. That is extremely generous of you guys. And especially in a time where, like, viewership's been generally down, subscribers are generally down, and all that stuff. It's really nice that the people that are hanging around. You get a lot of you guys are, like, patrons. We have a lot of subscribers per viewer ratio. And then a lot of stream donations. It's just, like, it's pretty clear that you guys care. Even if it's not a big community. It's a very passionate one. So, you guys are great. You make this worth doing. I faced Ice Power my first week or two. Oh, God. Yeah, he was also quite good. What do we got here? Ian Zero versus Rue. Rue, also known as Onyx. We have 5 Lathered Sea Guard. A front line of entirely Silverin Guard. My God. Then we have the Fireborn as the only cavalry. Imric up on his dragon. And a Mage of Life with Regrowth and Earthblood. This is a very elite High Elf build, because the Silverin Guard frontline is 850 apiece, which is quite brutal. And they're relying on stacked melee defense, 54 melee defense, but against Greenskins, that's actually risky, because Wurzag can actually outbuff your melee defense, right? With his Bonewood Staff and Fists of Gork, he can give something 36 more melee attack, which even gets squigs above the Silver and Guard point with their bonus versus infantry. So, yeah. Banking on melee defense versus greenskins is very risky. I'm curious how this will go for the High Elves. Imric can be really, really scary, and the Fireborn can be really scary in this matchup, but it's tough. It's tough when you have this type of build. I think High Elves can have some teeth into greenskins for sure. I'm just scared about this specific High Elf build is going very elite, and the greenskins are good at tearing elite stuff apart. On the other side for the greenskins, we have the Moon Howlers, Goblin Wolf Rider Regiment of Renown that causes fear. Some Savage Orc Boar Boy Biggins, 3 of them, 2 Trolls, one of which is a River Troll, the other is a Stone Troll, 4 Squigs, 4 Goblins, and then the Rusty Errors, Night Goblin ROR Archer with its armor sundering, and then a regular Goblin Archer, the Hammer of Gork, and Wurzag. Nice greenskin build. It's pretty straightforward. I don't love the Savage Orcs against High Elves specifically, because High Elves actually have terrible armor-piercing cavalry. They have none, which is why I say terrible. So your Orc Boar Boy regulars with their armor values would be more valuable than the less armored Savage Orc Boar Boy Biggins with their physical resistance. Just a hot take there. Goblin Archers trying to get a little bit of damage onto Imric with Effigy of the Git holding him in place. That's good damage. Especially in the current healing meta we're in, you know he's going to get regrowths, you know he's going to get Earthbloods, so you've accepted that you just need to kill his entire health bar, so all poke is good poke. Now the worst thing you can do against healing comps is do a bit of damage, and then when you see him start healing, switch targets, because then you're just not accomplishing anything. It's sad that only one Legendary Lord is viable for greenskins and dwarves. Some people think Azheg's pretty good. I personally don't, but some people do. Regrowth is here for Imric, but he's already taken a sizable chunk of HP. And if Savage Orc Boar Boy Biggins get the charge on the Fireborn, that could be a bad time for the Fireborn, but it looks like they're going to get caught napping a little bit. I don't know if that's going to be enough of a charge to really get their bonus out, so I think the Fireborn might have gotten their charge there. And a Fists of Gork is coming in. This is going to be huge for the Greenskins. 75 melee attack with a bonus versus large of 5. Oh, wow, 5. Oh, big bonus versus large. But still, I mean, it's something. And they're going to crush through these Fireborn. It's going to be spooky, scary skeletons. Now, this is a problem for the Greenskins. They're getting some cavalry into the back line, but Lothern Seaguard will just laugh at you and kill you anyway. As we mentioned in literally the last game, Orc Boar Boy Biggins of any kind, Orc Boar Boys, Orc Boar Boy Biggins, Savage Orc Boar Boy Biggins, they don't kill infantry fast at all in any capacity, so fighting Lothern Seaguard is not going to be what they're good at. But I imagine the Silver and Guard frontline will get run over despite how much money is being spent on it. And then with the Trolls, the Squigs, and the Goblins here, then I think the Lothern Seaguard will be in a bit of trouble. Imric's trying to land on Wurzag, trying to get something going for himself, but he is blinded right now. Not that it matters, actually. His stats are jacked to hell, so he should be able to beat up Wurzag. Honestly, even the Stone Trolls. Even with the Stone Trolls around him, he should be fine. The Fireborn are not fine. Those Fists of Gork on the Savage Orc Boar Boy Biggins did prove to be their downfall. Those guys are taking a lot of damage. I know it is lagging, but I think this game is going to be very short one way or the other, as the Greenskins already have 4,000 damage value 1.5 minutes into the game. We will not have to wait long, my friends. Imric is trying to chase down Wurzag, trying to get some damage out, but Stone Trolls are holding him roughly in place, and these archers are just punishing him. His regrowth has worn off, and he's already back to where he was before it even started. Fireborn are routed, bounce powers heavily against the High Elves, and I do quite agree. Silver and Guard are holding for now. That is literally their entire job, but already we can see, once again, we're not even 2 minutes into the game, and the Silver and Guard are already at half HP. That is how dangerous the Greenskin rush is, and betting on melee defense is just so risky. Now, Imric with his Star Lance and a bit of Lothern Seaguard support absolutely dunks down the Stone Troll. He gets rid of them. He is going to be just fine, but this whole time he has been getting shot by those armor-sundering archers, and his forces are getting massacred. In the backfield, one Lothern Seaguard is down, another one's almost dead, a third is almost dead, though they have traded back pretty decently against the Greenskin aggressors. I just don't know if it's going to be enough. Wurzag is now 1v1ing Imric, as is his birthright. And while he won't win it, he might distract Imric long enough for his front line to win other things. As one Silver Guard is now terror routing, another one is just about to go. And the floodgates are open. Goblins are now streaking into the back line, and the River Trolls tried to go say hi to Imric, but he's down to sub half HP, and his healing cap's within sight. It is a bad time to be a high elf. Still a 3,000 damage value lead for Ian 0. Yeah. Fireborn into a Fate of Buna matchup is really risky. Fair. I think the Fireborn are overall still pretty good, but yeah, only in... I don't take him into greenskins just because their stats aren't good enough to withstand the Wa. The Wa's, yeah. Anyway, Imric taking big damage. High Elves getting slowly ground down, and none of their Lothern Sea Guard in a position to keep firing in, so the greenskins actually have the range advantage, which is weird versus any elf, but it is what it is. He's going to tear out off these squigs in just a second here, but man, he has taken so much damage. And Wurzag plus the Swamp Things are trying to kill the Life Caster, but a High Elf Healing Caster is one of the tankiest things on the planet, strangely. It should be fine. What is that? Is that a Fists of Gork onto the Swamp Things? It is 79-74 for melee stats for the Swamp Things. That's really good. These guys have insane value. Yeah, 1,600. They've just been firing at Imric literally all game. 60 armor for him. Effigy to get doing about a Spirit Leech level of damage to him while he sits in front of archers. And I imagine the River Troll Hags are also trying to take a bite out of him. Yeah, they are. That is going to be GG. I know there was lag, and I apologize that's the second laggy game tonight, but it was only 3 minutes long in the end, and this game is decided. Two Silver Guards still holding. Two of them have fallen apart. Imric's down to 1 leadership. He goes negative for a brief second. A regrowth is getting cast on the Mage of Life. I have to think that is a misclick. Not that it matters. I think this game is too far gone. Even if Imric got healed back up. I think it's Ogre. It's all Ogre. Ian 0 persists. Not a lot of notable values, except for the Rusty Errors. Everything else just kind of did its job. GG's to Onyx. Pigman 202 did advance on the top side. Father Ramsey is down here. Ian 0 is awaiting his opponent from the winner or loser. Well, he would fight the loser of Rainy Frog and Kaiju. We'll await our next matchup. It'll be one of these two. If Rainy Frog and Kaiju finish, then we'll watch Ian 0 versus whoever that is. If Koala Duck and Electric Spinach finish, we'll watch whoever is here. Rainy Frog advances to fight Pigman. And just as I said it, we will get back to Ian 0 and Kaiju. What I'm thinking might be best is we've had some lag tonight. I wonder if we should just cast replays of Electric Spinach and Koala Duck, and then a replay of Anti-Kaiju Ian Zero, Father Ramsey versus whoever, whatever's here, and then get to the winners. I wonder if that would be best, just because of how much lag we've been having today. Because Onyx Ian lagged, Koala Duck Treetone lagged. Rainy Frog Koala didn't lag. So we'll see. If these players ready up, they're both in the lobby with me right now. If these players ready up before I get a replay from Spinach and Duck, I'll cast their game live. But if I get a replay, I'll ask for them for replays. Because lag's no fun. Nobody likes lag. But we'll see. If I have nothing to watch, I'd rather watch a laggy game than nothing. So. I'm just using this as the blocker right now. I'm just looking at the bracket. I have 2 players in the lobby with me right now. They're doing picks and bans and stuff. So I just thought it'd be better to look at the bracket than stare at a blocker in an army screen. Ian Zero switched over to Kislev. Looks like that's what we're getting on that front. Buff Aaron Essa sitting on Coast for now. We'll see if that's actually what they're going with. Coast versus Kislev is playable. It's tough, but it's playable for the Coast. It's not great. I'd say it's a 40-60 matchup in Kislev's favor. Once again, if I get a replay from Koala Duck and Spinach before we start this game, I'll cast that replay and then ask these guys for replay. But if they ready up before that replay's ready, then I'd rather just watch a live game, even if it's potentially laggy, than sit around, you know? I'll message Father Ramsey and explain to him that I'd like a replay too. All right. Ian Zero's ready. Anti-Kaiju's readying up. It looks like we have Lizardmen versus Vampire Coast, which is actually a matchup I've been playing a lot of recently in my own time. I think it is very fun. And I do not have a blocker up. So I need to just switch over to the maps real quick so you guys couldn't see it. There we go. It's Coast versus Lizardmen. These players are ready. This will be maybe the last game we cast live. The rest might be replays. Maybe we'll catch up to the finals live. But we will switch over to replays due to the lag issues you've been having tonight. For sure, for sure. You better stay here. Kaiju, I was going to catch this game whether live or in replay format, but I guess we're catching it live. Blocker is down. We have Aranessa Saltzpite versus Lord Mazdamundi. Oh, Hammond. Popping back in with the $2. What did Mario say to Corrin? Nothing. He died. Oh, God. Oh, that's terrible. Poor boy. He's dead as hell. We do have a replay to cast right after this between Electric Spinach and Koala. If it wasn't an Ilario, I'd play him more. Are we talking about Techless? I can't get behind Techless. I think he's too expensive. I know he can be good. I've seen people use him well. I'm not pretending he's a bad character. I just personally struggle with him. He's very expensive on his Arcane Phoenix, so maybe I should just take him on like horse or something. Alrighty, for the Vampire Coast. I actually have not been using a lot of gunnery mobs because, the crab mobs, because my build with the Lizardmen has 2 Razordon herds, and it's actually not a meme. I have the Razordon herds, I just keep them very far back, and they come in the hyper late game when the enemy has Depth Guard with pole arms, or crabs left. That's almost always what it comes down to with the coast, and then your 2 full health Razordons just show up, and they're all dead. Sucks to suck. But if you advance them too quickly while the enemy still has handgun mobs alive, they're just going to die. So you need to be very careful with the Razordons. They are entirely late game insurance. They are not at all meant to be with the main charge. That's just what I do, though. This looks quite different. We have 4 Skink Skirmishers. Been seeing a lot of these guys recently. I forget who. It was not me, but someone played them, and they looked really good. And I started taking them. These guys are actually amazing. So the 400 gold Skink Skirmishers followed up with 4 400 gold Jab Skinks, a regular Skink cohort, 2 Saurus Spears, 3 Croxagores, 2 of which are regular, 1 is the cohort of Huatl, 2 Feral Cold Ones, a Rev Crystal, and Mazdamundi with Comet, Banishment, and Ruination of Cities. That's awesome. And he has Apotheosis. On the other side, for the coast of Buff Aranessa, also known as Anti-Kaiju, do have Aranessa Saltzpite on foot with anti-large arm piercing and 60-60 for melee stats. She can be pretty good. Kraken's Bane to give everyone around her bonus versus large. And then she does have Spearfisher's Net to net things in place, hopefully in front of guns. Zombie frontline that we are all used to. 4 pistol mobs, the Black Spot, 2 bomber mobs, a cannon, and then some pole arms in the back with 3 of those crab mobs, one of which is the Lamprey's Revenge. So far, time is moving steadily ahead. Yeah, it doesn't seem like we're doing too bad. Oh. The Cord Waddle dodged 3 out of the 4 shots, but 1 hits. And it didn't kill them. I was like, did it kill 2 models in 1 shot? Alright, bye, Knighthood. Skink Skirmishers are usually quite good against animated Hulks, but this build has no animated Hulks. Meaning they probably won't have a home, but at 400 gold, they're essentially just cheap archer units, I guess, so they'll fire and they'll be fine. I love Croxagores. I think Croxagores are going to have a pretty bad time in the Vampire Coast because there are zombies with halberds and there are guns that can shoot them at the same time. But his opponent didn't bring a lot of handguns, so I actually think the Croxagores are going to be fine. This is, like, I say this all the time, but this is one of those coast builds that I wonder where the money went. Because it feels like there's like 2,000 gold or 3,000 gold that was left on the floor. And I know it wasn't, but just like looking at this, I'm like, where's all your money? How is this what we got? Skink Skirmishers firing in. Croxagores and other skinks moving up. Apotheosis from Osdamundi trying to keep the cohort waddle up a little bit. They've already lost one model from that cannon firing in on them. And the Black Spot are currently obstructed by their own crabs, who do have to get the fuck out of the way, because the Black Spot need to get a lot of work done very quickly, especially on the Croxagores. It's those feet guns you got to watch out for. Never say handguns are overrated. I know you're doing a joke about hand versus feet. Haha, very funny, but also never fucking joke about handguns. They're the best unit in this entire game. They're crazy powerful. They're crazy powerful. Don't fuck with me, Doom Sage. Anyway, Mazdamudi's throwing out a Ruination of Cities on top of some pistol mobs. Let's see if the RNG favor is here. You would want to go 3 different directions to do the most damage with the placement he had. Like that. Like that. You would want exactly that. All right, that entire unit just died. Bound Banishment also coming in for the pistol mobs. The front line of the coast is falling apart extremely quickly. Even some of them that aren't in melee at all are just taking so much damage that they're going to die. And that should let the Saurus and Croxagores just wander straight up the front and get onto that backline rather quickly. Counterpoint, the Chaos Dwarf Blunderbussy. Those are good. Those are good. But I love the handgun mobs. They're so powerful. They're so powerful, man. I don't know. I love them. I think they're great. With the context of being 550 gold, obviously. I'm not like, I'd rather have a single handgun mob than an Infernal Guard with fire glaives. Okay, yeah, I mean, I'd take the Infernal Guard, but at 550 costs, what we're talking about. Handguns, so good. Anyway, Aranessa has joined the frontline fight. A Rev Crystal is also popped on the Court of Waddle to give them even more stopping power. And it's Aranessa and her caster trying to help this Rotted Promethean Gunnery mob stop the bleeding. But the Gunnery mob might also die. And elsewhere, the frontline fight's going so poorly for the coast. The Lizardmen are going to bust straight through. I think the Lizardmen are doing great. Damage value would not tell you that, but just looking at the state of the game, I really like where the Lizardmen are at. And I think the coast are in big trouble. A Comet is trying to come out. Now, either the Black Spot move, which they are. Good dodge, but he does stop them from firing for a bit, so an all is not lost, but it is a good dodge. You'd rather dodge than not. Though the Comet's curving! It's curving the bullet! It's trying to still catch the Black Spot on the way out! And it's gonna catch some of them. A sizable chunk from the good, I'd say RNG, but I feel like Burning Head and Comet both have a little bit of, like, coding in there where they home just a bit. It doesn't feel like they're truly random. Anyway, the Skink Skirmishers are still teeing off onto these guys. They're getting shot by pistol mobs, but they're largely okay with it. Feral Cold Ones are pushed off, and the Skinks are largely taking enough damage to maybe rout here. And this will leave the Croxagores all alone in front of multiple handgun mobs. I guess a handgun mob and then a pistol mob, but still, that's a lot of damage. Saurus are still trying to join the fight. Actually, they have stopped. They do need to keep marching, and now they are. The Court of Waddle are beating the piss out of this Rotted Promethean's Gunnery mob. But the coast starting to get some life back in this game. The Lizardman assault is faltering out. The meta here is melee versus kangaroos. Croxagores not exactly wanting to go fight the Black Spot. They are hybrid halberd characters. So they're not helpless against Croxagores. You want some Skinks or something to take them out. Or Mazdamundi's spells that come off cooldown. You can just throw another Ruination of Cities, maybe this time on the Black Spot or something. Carinade is still firing. Now it's firing at the Rev Crystal. The healing cap has appeared for the cohort of Huatl, but the Rotted Promethean's Gunnery mob's already down to half HP, and there's no healing for them whatsoever. No Invocation of Nahak, nothing like that. The Saurus are here to play. The Saurus will be much tankier, much more resilient combatants than the Skinks. Actually, the coast managed to rout off one of the Croxagores, but more Croxagores and more Skinks are pouring into the gaps to get rid of these bomber mobs, to get rid of the Black Spot, and take care of business. But these Saurus not having a good time, as Lamprey's Revenge stop getting distracted by Skinks and are returning to the fight, and bombers are getting free shots onto these Saurus, who have stopped yet again. They do need to be kept moving. They need to keep getting orders to push up. Croxagores have almost killed one of the 3 Prometheans mobs. Almost, almost. These Croxors are pursuing the black spot, and everyone's ignoring the Carronade, which is fine. Someone tried to use a gun once, and both of his arms fell off. I hear another Rev Crystal. Where is it going? It's also going on to the cohort of Waddle, who are just speed running their way to a heal cap. And there is the next Ruination of Cities. It's actually going on to a Bomber Mob rather than the Black Spot. But I guess the Black Spot did run away. So they're busy. Still some decent damage. And now all of Aranessa's support has disappeared. So the cohort of Waddle or the Saurus Spear should push past her. Honestly, you just have to ignore her entirely. That's the big thing about the coast, is you never want to get caught up fighting their melee units. Their melee units entirely exist to protect their ranged units. So who cares if you kill them? Fuck them. Just ignore them. Like Aranessa, just ignore her. Keep pushing back. You need your resources to get back here. They need to stop the bombers. We're now almost out of ammo, so that one's fine. But you got to stop the gunnery mobs. You got to stop the black spot. You got to stop the cannons. That's a nice comet doing some damage to these pole arms to buy the Croxors a little bit more time to do their jobs. But yeah, when you're fighting the Skaven, when you're fighting the coast, your objective is to get past the melee units as quickly as possible. And same with Dark Elves, actually. I give a lot of advice on fighting Dark Elves with Skaven. I fought somebody else with Skaven, too. And the basic thing I was trying to say is you always want to ignore the Lord, the Soul Stealer Lord, or the Regrowth Lord, or anybody with Healing Lord, right? You want to ignore them, because they're fucking bait. You can surround them, you can do what you want to do. It's going to take you 2 solid minutes to kill them, and then you still won't even kill them. They'll heal and get away. And that entire time you're getting shot. So it's much better to just kill the entire enemy force, and then in the hyper late game have Aranessa, have, you know, Dark Elf Dragon Lord with Soul Stealer, have Malekith, have Imric and his Regrowth Caster. You just have them left at the end, because without their army, they're nothing. Mazdamundi taking another Spirit Leech. Cohort of Waddle. It looks like they're trying to get past Aranessa, but now they're kind of going back for her, so they're half doing what I want them to do. But Feral Cold Ones have found their way onto the Carronade. Croxigors are pushed off by these deckhand mobs and polearms. We still have an even game balance of power-wise. I'm struggling to see how the Lizardmen lose this, but the balance of power certainly seems to think something magical is going to happen, as these Skinks are just firing in, doing really, really good damage considering their cost point, and they're poisoning everything they touch. Now, the Cohort of Waddle are pushed off. Mazdamundi has to get a little bit more to safety. But the longer this game goes, the more it benefits the Lizardmen with all of their healing, with all of that stuff going for them. And the Coast are just running out of range tools. Now they have 2 crabs, only one of which can heal. Araness is at half HP. And in the backfield, their Carronade is now being attacked by Skinks, and it should be attacked by more Skinks. These Skink skirmishers should probably go into melee. Just throw them on melee mode. Chuck one at the black spot, chuck one at the Carronade, shut it down. Their ammo isn't as precious as stopping the enemy from using their ammunition. One of the rotting Promethean gunnery mobs is crumbling now. And Mazda sits nearby atop his throne of skulls. Bounce power shifting against the Vampire Coast. Damage value is very even, but when one faction has healing and you don't, you need a significant lead on that damage value. They're just not getting it. Now both crab mobs are disintegrating away. Aranessa is taking some serious damage. Carronade is desperately trying to snipe out Mazdamundi. That could be a big brain late game play, as if you take out the Lizardman leadership. Lizardman leadership in general is very strong, but look how much stuff is low. If you take out Mazdamundi, there's no more caster, which reduces your healing by like half, because you still have a Rev Crystal, but still. Cuts your healing in like half, and then also gets stuff to start routing. I still don't think it claws this game back for the Coast, but it is a good attempt. Mazdamundi, instead of using Apotheosis on himself, throws one last Comet on the ground. Aranessa is going to run his ass down, gets a nasty shot on him, and a cannon volley is coming for him. I saw the arrows pointed at him. He's going to take another volley here. I don't know if he dies from it, but he might take a lot of damage. The Carronade are bravely fighting while the Deathcaster tries to peel off the Skinks, and Aranessa even chucks out a Spearfisher's Net onto the Croxigors, trying to buy herself a little bit of time. Black Spot protect themselves from Croxigors coming in, down to 4 models. These boys are on the charge. I think the Black Spot should be able to protect themselves just fine. Croxigors actually complete the charge, but that'll be about the end for them. Yep, they get going right after that. Carronade is almost down, still not firing at Mazda just yet. Still trying to. It has been aiming for a very long time. And Aranessa is now alone. and broken. With only 3 leadership, she's going to break any second now. The Carronade has not fired for a long time at Mazda, and the Rev Crystal's even here to shut it all down. It's done with this nonsense. Takes them off their mounts. Skinks are flooding against the black spot, and Aranessa is about dead. That is GG. And buff Aranessa took Aranessa, and she was not buff enough. All hands ahoy actually keeping her in this fight. She has 7 leadership and a plus 16 from that thing, so she would have routed if not for that. Not that it matters. Black Spot trying to fire at the Rev Crystal, but Skinks are coming over. Skink can deal with it, and the last of the melee infantry for the Vampire Coast is crumbling with its own volition. Mazda even comes back, throwing down a shield, the old ones on his Crocscore blob, just to be an asshole about it. And that should be army losses against the coast. And Ian Zero will advance. G. I heard there was a Vampire Coast Cave and Legendary Lord undead. Would he be able to use both Undercities and Pirate Hidden Bases? They'd probably just combine the concept. They'd probably give an Undercity a special building if it's a coastal city, is what I can imagine they do. Carronade actually got 1,500 value, which is the most I've seen a Carronade get in all of Warhammer 3. Mazda did alright. Crocscores did okay. I imagine the Skinks were the heroes of the day. One Saurus actually got a ton of value, but yeah. Melee Skinks can do a lot of work here. GG's, brothers. GG's. So we have a replay from Electric Spinach and Koala Duck. I asked the players send me this replay. So this is in the loser's bracket. The loser of this is out. Is Norska and the Vampire Counts. I think traditionally this is a bad matchup for Norska, but it's been a long time since I've seen it. Alrighty, what do we got? For the Counts of Koala Duck, 4 zombies, 4 skeleton spears, the Dire Pack, triple Blood Knight, the Clawed Nagash Mortis Engine, and a Blood Dragon Vampire Lord. Solid build. Nice and sturdy. Did anyone use Wood Elves yet? Nope. On the other side, for Norska, triple Marauder frontline, 2 Marauder Hunter with Javelins, 2 Marauder Great Weapons with Marauder Champions with Great Weapons, a Burning Headcaster, a Giant, Wulfric the Wanderer with Sword of Torgald and Fight or Die and Foe Seeker. And then he has the Maws of Savagery Skin Wolves in the Vanguard. And that is it. Those Maws of Savagery are going to hurry up and get back here. Now, something of note, just a very quick thing. If you're playing with Wulfric, just a heads up, Sword of Torgald increases your base weapon damage by 90%. When he's on his Mammoth, he is primarily armor piercing, so you get very little damage increase from the Sword of Torgald. You only want the Sword of Torgald if he's on horse or on foot. Just an FYI. Alright. Because then he has a higher base damage. Marauder, Hunters with Javelins are advancing. It looks like they were throwing at Blood Knights, but now they are pursuing those Blood Knights a little too close to the front line, and they now get trapped up in zombies. Marauder Hunters are still Marauders, though. They have decent melee stats, so they could be okay, but obviously it's not supreme to have them up there like that. In the distance, Marauder Horsemen are getting caught by Blood Knights and the Dire Pack. Maws of Savagery are nearby, but they have their own shit to deal with, as they also charge into Blood Knights. And their armor might save them? Yeah, their armor should save them. Only 70 armor, actually, though. Blood Knights don't have great AP values, so yeah, they're going to actually eat the Maws of Savagery alive. And Norska losing its Skirmish Cav and maybe losing its ROR Skin Wolf. Really, both sides are taking a lot of damage in that trade. But this could be big. The Blood Dragon Vampire Lord did land next to a Giant and Wulfric. Helm of Discord lowering his stats, but the Blood Dragon Lord just takes off while being swung at, because reasons, I guess. So I guess he's going to be fine. The Mortis Engine has joined the fight, draining down these Marauders and their Javelin friends. The Maws of Savagery and the Blood Knights fighting to the very death, but I think the unbreakable aspect of being undead will help the Blood Knights take this one all the way. I haven't seen a burning head yet from Norska. Marauders are chewing through skeletons and zombies, though, so I guess it's not the biggest deal in the world if you don't use Burning Head. The Javelins are getting a good shot off onto the Blood Dragon Vampire Lord. Things are looking a little tough, though, as the Mortis Engine causes a terror out from our friends random Marauders. There goes a Burning Head onto a zombie summon. Tickles the Blood Knights a little bit, too. Didn't want to go through your own Marauders, so I kind of get that one. And the Maws of Savagery actually going to clutch it out. They did it. They beat a Blood Knight on the chart. Now, the Blood Knight was already a little wounded, but still, it was pretty much a straight-up 1v1, and they do it. They kill the Blood Knights. They're going to get root charged by the Dire Pack, and that should rout them. But still, the Maws of Savagery fucking did it, lads. We take those. The Blood Knights, also in the fight with Norska in the front line, are taking a shellacking as well. And the Claw of Nagash is now in combat with Marauder Champions, which could do decent damage to it. But the Claw of Nagash is overall happy to be fighting Marauder Champions, so it's fine with that. If the Giant can survive the Blood Knight attack, it will want to move over and fight the Claw of Nagash, and actually so will Wulfric. Marauder Hunters with Javelins have just been a pain in the Blood Dragon Vampire Lord's rear of this entire game. Cascading Fire Cloak was cast on some Marauders for more melee defense. Helps them churn through those guys even faster. But yeah, one of the two Norscan single entities has to come deal with the Claw of Nagash because Marauder Champions are exactly what it wants to slurp down. Another indication heck for the Blood Knights, who have taken a lot of damage, but they're still being persistent. Wulfric's trying to rejoin the fight now, and the other Marauder Champion with great weapons is still back here fighting. That Marauder Champion actually fighting this many Blood Knights is going to be great for that Marauder Champ. That's a really good Blood Knight charge, though, onto them. That was real nice. And the Claw of Nagash is still just draining everybody down. Wulfric's here. I think this is looking good for the Vampire counts, but I don't think it's over just yet. Norska is getting some really good trades back and forth. Now, this is a great pick onto the Giant. The Blood Dragon Vampire Lord has been whooping his ass with Blood Knight support. That's great for the counts, obviously. But these Marauder Champions, great ones, man, they're trading back this entire time. Now, those Marauder Champs getting slurped down by the Claw of Nagash and charged by the Blood Knights is brutal. That's a huge loss for Norska and might tip this game into the too far away for the comeback territory. But it was a good attempt. A lot of zombies are dead. A lot of zombies are dead. In fact, the counts right now have a Skeleton Spearman as their only chaff, because that zombie is disintegrating pretty quickly. Blood Dragon Lord, without Helm of Discord, is going to fight Wulfric, which is risky. That is super risky. He does not have Hunter of Champions, but he's still a spooky melee combatant up there. And a big Burning Head from the familiar Balefiend of Fire. Norska is not ready to be done with this game just yet. Now, the Marauder Hunters with Javelins are coming back. The Great Weapons are sitting here fighting. And Wulfric is beating up on the Blood Dragon Vampire Lord, whose healing cap is within sight. Now, if he can get away and get some indications and hack and stuff, he'll be fine. The Sword of Torgald is popped. Cascading Fire Cloak is popped. Wulfric's trying to get all the buffs he can. And he is currently walking away from the fight, which is weird to do while you have all of your buffs up. I can't tell if he's getting pushed by the Claw of Nagash or if he's actually trying to opt out of this. But if he can't finish off the Blood Dragon Vampire Lord, then no one can. The Claw of Nagash is still draining down everybody. Terror Rout's coming in for the Marauders. I imagine these Hunter Javelins will also be getting going soon. There's a heal-capped Blood Knight, an almost heal-capped Blood Dragon Vampire Lord, but then a full-health Blood Knight, a half-health Spear, and a full-health Claw of Nagash. I think that is unfortunately going to be it. Nice charge there from Wulfric on his Mammoth. The Blood Dragon Lord is back in. Another Helm of Discord is down. Wulfric has 14 and 10 for melee stats. Army losses is going to hit. And Norska gave it hell, but it was not enough. Blood Dragon Lord did fine. Blood Knights did pretty well overall. Claw of Nagash also did nicely. And all of the zombies and Skeleton Spearmen got murdered. For Electric Spinach, Wulfric did alright. His Maws of Savagery also did well. Giant did pretty well. Marauder Champions Great Weapons did fantastically. But his Marauder Horseman getting caught right away was really brutal. And didn't get to see any of those like clean burning heads that kill entire units. Who wins, Wulfric or Archaon? On his Mammoth, Wulfric. On anything else, Archaon. This is under the assumption that both just balls to the walls charge each other, and neither of them backs off until they die. But if Wulfric... Because Wulfric has Hunter of Champions, right? But if Archaon cycle charges with his buffs, I think he'd be better. Because his buffs are better. Wolfric relies on his huge HP pool of the Mammoth to beat Archaon. Alright, the next replay I got is also from Koala Duck versus Father Ramsey. The winner of this goes on to fight Eden Zero in the bracket. And I did instruct Koala to send me the replay no matter what, so I don't necessarily know who wins, and I'm not going to look at the bracket because I don't want to know. Beastmen versus Skaven. For the Skaven, we have a front line of 4 Clan Rats, 2 Skaven Slave Spears, 4 Poison Wind Globes, 4 Rat Ogres, 2 Wolf Rats, the Teeth Breakers Rattling Guns, a Packmaster with all of his buffs, and Lord Skrulk with a Summon, Blessed with Filth, Rod of Corruption, and Liber Bubonicus. The other side for the Beastmen, we have double Gorgon Jabberscythe, a lot of healing single entities there to deal with. Great Brave Shaman of Death with Doom and Darkness and Spirit Leech, 4 Archers, and then a whole bunch of Ungor Herds with 2 Tuskor Chariots for extra disruption. This is a max disruption build, and Rat Ogres plus the Teeth Breaker is going to have to do a lot of work. Globe's currently trying to hit the Gorgons, but the front line for the Skaven has already been bypassed, and even some of the Clan Rats are just flat-out terror routing. Packmaster is in on the fight. He does have to provide some support, and he needs to throw down his Shock Collar on these Rat Ogres to give them enough melee attack to get the job done. Jabberscythe's already down to half HP, so the Toothbreaker's doing pretty good, but the front line for the Skaven is so disrupted already that it's actually close to breaking as the Ungors are just streaming through onto the back line. This also has been my experience with Skaven recently. I have some secret Skaven builds that if Father Ramsey wants them, I will send them his way, but this has been my experience with Skaven a lot recently too, is your front line just can't hold, even if you go Clan Rats. I'm sorry, Electric Cabbage. You tried, though. Go Beastmen, eat those rats. It looks like the Beastmen are eating pretty good, as already the Skaven are in mass exodus. Wolf Rats, Poison Wind Globes, everything is running away. The Teethbreaker's already down to half HP. Skrulk is the only thing really standing, and he's just trying to fight Ungor Raiders in the backfield right now. The Packmaster and his Rat Ogres, wherever they go, they are hunting down this Gorgon and getting pretty good damage out. Shock Collar has been popped on some of the Rat Ogres. And for the Beastmen, some of their archers are ending up in melee combat, which is a bit of a whoopsie, but shit happens in a very chaotic, complex game. These Ungor herds are going to get routed, but it's not fast enough for the Skaven to get any of their stuff back. Their globes are still going to rout. You have Wolf Rats back, but the Jabberscythe, if it gets a good charge into them, it will just rout them yet again. Thankfully, it's charging something else, so it won't rout them quite yet. But the Teethbreakers are routing. Balance of Power is still 50-50. I am watching a very different game than the Balance of Power, apparently. Beastmen Archers are still all online. Their caster is perfectly healthy and fine. They still have some chariots causing disruption. Most of the Skaven army is routing, and both of the Gorgons are still alive and healing. So I don't know what game the Balance of Power is watching. This shit looks over. Gorgon is fighting back. This is going to be a good pick attempt from the Skaven. But they're just not doing enough damage quickly enough to get through the Gorgons, and then there's a second Gorgon you also have to deal with, which is just brutal. Jabberscythe still rolling dirty. A Clan Rat summon is out from Skrulk for a little bit more sustain on the field for the Skaven. But archers are here now, and they're firing into the Rat Ogres, which is a great target for them. I hope they're firing into the Rat Ogres. What are they shooting at? Looks like Skaven slaves for now. No, they should definitely shoot at the Rat Ogres. Big blob fight, but that does leave for an overcasted Doom and Darkness. It's currently counteracted by Stand Your Ground, but if Stand Your Ground wears off first, like it does, then the Skaven are going to have massive problems, as it looks like their Rat Ogres are about to start terror routing. Skrulk and his Packmaster also might get going here. One of the Gorgons is routing, but it'll come back. It has plenty of health. It'll be just fine. And there go all of the Rat Ogres. There goes Skrulk. There goes the Packmaster. And that is a massive problem for the Skaven. Some of their Clan Rat summons are fading away. In the backfield, they still have chariots chasing off Skaven slaves. Now, can the Beastmen actually commit resources to make sure all this stuff keeps routing from the Doom and Darkness, or will it be allowed to come back? Because if it is allowed to come back, the Great Bray Shaman might have overextended. He is 1/3 HP and currently behind the Skaven lines. Gorgon takes a bit of globe fire to the face. It'll do a little bit of poke damage. The Packmaster is here, ready to duel, but the Gorgons are going to protect the Great British in the Wild. That is worth their time. Big shots onto the Packmaster, immediately rout him yet again. Rat Ogres are trying to rejoin the fight, but it's not looking like it's going to be enough. Archers will get rid of these Rat Ogres and Globes that were trying to offer support. Skrulk is currently routing. The Great British Shaman now gets surrounded by Rat Ogres, taking some good damage. He might rout too, but there's no follow-up. What can kill the Gorgons? What can even kill the Jabberscythe? Nothing can get to the Archers. I think that's about it. GG. All right. Okay. Gorgon double jabber got a lot of value. Tuskor chariots were around and did stuff. Archers did fine, and those guys ran through them. Teethbreakers did not quite pay for themselves. Packmaster and Skrull tried to hold it down, but did not succeed. Rat Ogres got decent value, and Globes tried their best to get their value back, but it was a toughie. For sure. And then I got a question on something, so 1 second. All right. This is from Rainy Frog and Pigman in that top thing. So the bracket right now has a spoiler for the winner of this game, but it is Ian Zero versus Koala Duck. The winner of them will fight whoever loses this game. And then we have a finalist just waiting for whoever wins that game. But I'm hearing there might be a rule break in this replay, so we'll see what happens. We'll see. Triple Lyran Reaver Archer for Rainy Frog and the High Elves. We also have 2 Shadow Warriors spread out, so 5 skirmish units. And, a very quick Vanguard here. So we have 2 Marauder Horsemen with throwing axes, already getting caught up by the Shadow Warriors, and there's a Star Dragon nearby. So let's just pause it for a second. Star Dragon, Archmage of Life with only regrowth. Then we have a Dragon Prince, an Lyran Reaver, another Dragon Prince, another Dragon Prince. So 3 Dragon Princes, 1 Spearman. Okay. For the Warriors of Chaos, we have a Chaos Knight of Tzeentch, an Armored Chaos Troll, 2 Chaos Warriors, another Armored Chaos Troll, the Severed Claw, Aecold Hellbrass, and Archaon the Ever-Chosen with Spirit Leech Burning Head. And of course we have 2 Marauder Horsemen Marauder Horsemen of Khorne with throwing axes. They are not going to last very long. So for marks, we have 5 marks. Is that what he was talking about? Hang on. Because there's 2... Are these both Marauder Horsemen of Khorne? Yeah. So then Aecold is 3, because he's Tzeentch. And then there's the Severed Claw, which is 4. And then there's the Chaos Knights of Tzeentch. Which is fine. It's whatever. I mean, that is a rule break, but that's a pretty minor one. It's really hard to remember all the marks of chaos, because even some of them don't have the correct marked unit thing. One of the Marauder Horsemen is already off the battlefield. And these Lyran Reaver Archers should just attack move onto the Marauder Horsemen throwing axes. And then either they keep taking free shots from you, or they get into melee and die. But I've broken the mark cap before, so I don't think that's a big deal. Like, it happens, but who cares? Alright. Chaos Knights of Tzeentch are fighting Dragon Princes. So far, the Dragon Princes actually seem to be doing quite well. It looks like they've had a bit of Shadow Warrior support. And the skirmishing units are hitting these Armored Chaos Trolls, but with 110 armor, they don't give a single shit about that at all. Star Dragon has landed next to Aecold and the Chaos Trolls. Chaos Warriors also fighting it out. And the Lyran Reavers are trying to charge in. This is too many units, though. These Dragon Princes charging in offer no value, and they're just going to be wearing themselves out. Chaos Warriors getting close to breaking. Aecold is chilling, though. Burning Head from Archaon looks like it whiffs, unfortunately for him. The Dragon Princes are going to have to back off the Chaos Knights of Tzeentch. Shadow Warriors still are stuck in melee combat with the Trolls, which they don't want at all. And the High Elves seem to be doing okay so far. We've almost got a Chaos Warrior routing. It's going to be very important for the High Elves. If they route anything, they need to use their mobility advantage to chase it off the battlefield. Because there's one Chaos Knight of Tzeentch that can contest them while they can run anything off the map. So they really have to use Illyrian Reavers in melee if something routes. Let it get far enough away from the fight that it's not still embedded in the fight, and then chase it down with the archers. Really good breath attack. Hits both Chaos Warriors, and shock damage is going to be coming in as Dragon Princes get a rear charge, and they're being shot. That is a lot of leadership debuffs at once that could get these Chaos Warriors routing. And like we said, that is really what the High Elves have to do with this extreme kite style of build. They got to get these things routing and then just follow them off the map. Star Dragon's going to land in. Its Terror should get rid of the other Chaos Warrior. And while being attacked while Terror routing and not fighting back should get them to route naturally. So really good start here for the High Elves. Actually, things are going pretty darn great. Some of these Illyrian Reavers are going to have to be brought in, though, to be melee cav. You don't want Dragon Princes chasing Chaos Warriors to the end of the earth. It's going to take them forever to kill them, and it's just not worth your time. So, grab some Illyrian Reaver archers, just put them in melee, and chuck them at the Chaos Warriors. Chaos Knights of Tzeentch trying to find a new home, but they will get caught by Dragon Princes. Much healthier Dragon Princes, and while the Chaos Knights of Tzeentch still don't have barriers up, but it looks like the Dragon Princes are actually trying to charge the Trolls. The Chaos Knights of Tzeentch will get away with it. Now, Dragon Princes are fighting Archaon for now, and that's going okay. Illyrian Reavers in the distance chasing off the Chaos, the Marauder Horsemen of Khorne with throwing axes. And so far, this is a pretty well-executed kite overall. I'd like to see these Illyrian Reavers charging into the back of the Chaos Trolls and then backing off, just really cycling down that leadership of the Trolls and trying to get them to route. Once again, when you're kiting, everything is about getting stuff to route. So you really want to be abusing that leadership as much as possible. Another Troll routes, another Chaos unit is on its way out the door, but the High Elves have to back off. They're currently engaging in melee too much so that the stuff that's routing can't get away far enough that they can chase it safely. Like, they're trying to chase stuff right now, and a breath attack does more friendly fire damage than good, unfortunately. But anyway, they're trying to chase stuff right now, but the stuff is still in the melee, so while they're trying to chase that down, they're taking damage from Chaos Knights of Tzeentch, they're taking damage from Archaon, they're taking damage from Chaos Warriors and shit like that. And these Dragon Princes trying to chase down these Chaos Warriors. It looks like Severed Claw is taking a little bit of a fight with them. Those Armored Chaos Trolls in the distance are fighting Shadow Warriors. These Chaos Knights of Tzeentch are still rolling around doing their thing, but it looks like the Star Dragon is going to commit to melee with some Dragon Prince support, and that should finish off these Chaos Knights of Tzeentch. Star Dragons can do a lot of damage in melee. Like, a lot. Can't wait for the end, Frog? I know, buddy, I know. But so far, it's actually been a pretty good kite game from you. Chaos Knights of Tzeentch look like they're on their way out. There's no healing on this roster for them, so it's just not going to be enough. They will get pushed away. There we go. The Dragon Princes should run them down. So then this Lifecaster and the Star Dragon need to get away from Archaon. Shadow Warriors, they're dead. Fuck them. But you're in full chase mode right now. All right, as the High Elves, you're just chasing stuff. You want everything that you've already routed to go ahead and die. You have some Spearmen fighting Chaos Warriors and the Severed Claw. And that is going to be a problem, I'll give you that. The Severed Claw are going to be a huge problem for the build you've constructed here. Dragon Princes charge in, try and get a bit of damage, but the Chaos Warriors' high armor values, the Severed Claw's high armored values is going to make it rather difficult for these non-armor piercing cav to get anything done. Illyrian Reavers are out of ammunition. And these armored Chaos Trolls in the distance are regenerating this whole time. Star Dragon, is he hovering weirdly close to the ground? I feel like dragons normally are way higher off the ground than that, but whatever. Oof, Dragon Princes took nasty damage and are pushed off the battlefield. And the Chaos Knights of Tzeentch were allowed to come back. It's not a huge problem, but it is a bit of a mistake. With this kite style of gameplay, you just can't let stuff come back. Illyrian Reavers piling back into Chaos Warriors and the Severed Claw. And meanwhile, here we go. In the distance, a regrowthing Dragon Prince gets a nice charge onto the Chaos Troll with a bit of support from other Dragon Princes that should finish those guys off and take all of the healing... Okay, besides Aecold. Take all the healing off the battlefield for Chaos, which really gives the High Elves a bit more breathing room here. Basic Chaos Warriors also almost routing again. You just gotta get them out of there. The Severed Claw are going to be a big problem, but you gotta do what you gotta do, and the Lifecaster is now helping to chase down Chaos Warriors, which some of these wounded Dragon Princes and Illyrian Reavers could do. All your healthy units do have to reconvene, especially right now. Aecold's in a very punishable spot right now, but the dragon had to go help with the Chaos Trolls and stuff like that. So unfortunately, there's nothing here to stop them. For Chaos, they're pretty much down to just the Severed Claw, Archaon, and Aecold. Chaos Warriors were allowed to rally in the midfield. The Star Dragon needs to get over here. Alright. Archaon is fighting in the woods. The Tzeentch horsemen were caught once again and pushed off the field. Another Spirit Leech onto the Archmage of Life. The Star Dragon is coming in for a charge onto the Chaos Warriors. They are not... Oh, they're only ITP because they're next to the Crown of Domination. They're not normally ITP, so if Archaon wasn't here, they would tear her out. But it looks like they're going to just naturally route, so it's fine. It's fine. Chaos Warriors are getting run down by healthy Dragon Princes. And other Dragon Princes are receiving a regrowth right now. Chaos Warriors retreating once again. If they break another time, they will shatter, so it's not really that important to chase them off. If you really want to let them come back, you can just get a naked charge on them somewhere and get that. The Star Dragon is wiggling its butt away from Archaon, but it's currently taking free damage because he's way faster than it on the ground, and he should turn and fight. Archaon, without any of his buffs, is actually quite susceptible to damage, but it looks like he's really not going to do it. He is avoiding this fight with all gusto, even though he has support and Archaon doesn't. This is probably one of the best times to fight Archaon, unfortunately. So that's going to be a missed opportunity for the Frog of Rains. Dragon Prince is charged in onto an unbraced Severed Claw, but Archaon has regrouped with Aecold and his halberds. Big damage onto the Dragon Princes. Big, big damage. Ryan McDonald, hey, how you doing? Severed Claw, fantastic. And so far, we've gotten this far in the game, and I'm not seeing any potential rule breaks so far. Not seeing anything. Alright, I got another replay. Star Dragon getting an Overcast regrowth and falling back. Shadow Warriors and Illyrian Reavers are firing in, doing what they can. But yeah, they're doing negative damage to this Severed Claw. The Star Dragon is going to have to do all the damage. It can hit the Severed Claw. It has a high enough melee attack to, and its weapon strength is insanely strong, so it might be able to take them out. But it's got to have just completely on point cycle charging. You can just ×2 the game. Yeah, fair. All right, it does dive in. Oh, it takes way too much damage. Yeah, it backs off now, so it got back into the sky, which is fine. But it took a lot of damage. It's going very far away. It's going very far away. Severed Claw still getting fought. Star Dragon is back in. It charges Archaon. It gets some good hits onto Archaon, and then starts to run away. So here the cycle charging is a little bit more on point. The Shadow Warriors are trying to fire in, and the Star Dragon isolates Archaon. It's going to get some good shots in. I don't know if there's a lot of regrowths left on the cards here for the High Elves, and Archaon's just about toast. Star Dragon dives on him yet again, and it T-poses for a bit. He has to recharge it. But Archaon takes some more big damage. The High Elves have routed a lot, though, so I'm worried some of the units are going to start shattering. And Archaon routes completely. The Star Dragon lands on him, then does the weird not landing bug. And Severed Claw are down to half health. The High Elves might be able to do this. God, they're running out of steam, though. This Archmage of Life could have been a little closer. I think he's worried about getting Spirit Leech, but it could be a little closer. She's a decent combatant, so I don't know. Their single entries are going to have to hard carry it. The Star Dragon's going really fucking far away again, though, which they can't afford to do, because if you give the Severed Claw too much room, they'll regen their barriers. And no one's chasing Archaon. He's going to rally. Oh, that's terrible! Oh, no! He rallied with 70 HP. He might get another Spirit Leech off. Like, he's dead for sure, but he might get another Spirit Leech off. And it just wastes your time, like, while you want to be doing other stuff. Star Dragon lands on him and kills him. Alright, so Archaon is dead. The Severed Claw are not immune to psychology. The Severed Claw are still chasing. Now they turn around and fight that. And they reform lines. They're fighting some stuff. They're trying to regroup. There's a bunch of cycle charging going on. The Severed Claw fight the Star Dragon for a bit. Now they're chasing the Star Dragon. Star Dragon's off the ground. And they're trying to chill in the trees. I think that's the rule break he's talking about, where they're trying to hold a defensive position in the trees. Yeah. Severed Claw are pushed off. Oh, and the Star Dragon doesn't get back into the sky. No! You gotta get back into the sky! You gotta refresh your charge bonus. He takes a bunch of damage from Aecold. Hold on. How is Aecold keeping up with this thing? That was kind of crazy. Anyway, the Lifecaster is chasing off the Severed Claw. That and the Cycle Charging. Was he Cycle Charging? I thought you were Cycle Charging. He just has Aecold. Okay, so real quick for the rules thing here. The High Elves were always fulfilling attacking orders with Shadow Warriors. And then they were cycle charging with single entities, if that's what you're talking about. But they had Shadow Warriors shooting this whole time. For Aecold and the Words of Chaos, I always saw them trying to fight something, but like everything kept running away from them. Because you're charging in and charging out, so he's like, well, I want to get to you and all that stuff. Now, he did sit in the forest for a bit. Like, it was very minor, though, because he was mostly doing stuff to stay in the forest, which he wanted to do, and I understand that. But, like, you had something trying to attack him from one side, so he'd go over and try and attack it. Okay, what the fuck, army losses? The High Elves definitely can win this game, but sure. That was weird. Anyway, I don't think that game was over, but the army losses called it. Anyway, so when he was in the forest, he would try to attack your Illyrian Reavers that were coming in at him, which walks him back into the forest. And then when your Illyrian Reavers fucked off, he went to attack your Shadow Warriors, which again kept him in the forest. That was just smart. That was just smart play on his part. It was fine. There was one, like, second where your Star Dragon was flying, your Shadow Warriors were shooting, and he reformed, and he just stood in the forest for, like, literally a second, and then your Star Dragon landed in on him. I think it was fine. I honestly think it was fine. I wouldn't have called that as a rule break, personally. But I understand what you're talking about. But no, the High Elves were fine because their Shadow Warriors were always shooting. So then their single entities can do whatever they want. And I think the Words of Chaos were fine because most of the time they were trying to catch you. And here's the real thing. There's a very different situation where you shoot him with the Shadow Warriors and everything else you have fucks off. And if he still sits in the forest, then that's a problem. But most of the time, he was getting run over by cavalry or charged by a dragon or charged by an eagle while he was in the forest. And, like, what do you expect him to... And I know you're not accusing him. I'm talking kind of to a nebulous you. What do you expect him to do? Like, not fight back because he has to get out of the forest? Like, that's not a thing. So I think if the Shadow Warriors had sat there shooting and he still stayed in the forest, we'd have a problem. But he was fighting something most of the game. I think it was fine. I think army losses was bullshit, but that's not the player's fault. Your cycle charging was fine too. Your cycle charging was perfect. You had Shadow Warriors shooting the whole time. Yeah, it was totally fine. Yeah, it looked like a good game. It was a really good game. Rainy Frog messaged me. He's like, here's the replay. You may not enjoy it. I enjoyed the shit out of that. That was an amazing kite game. Not all kite games are good. Some kite games are dog shit. That was a good one. It was really well executed. Frog had some tiny mistakes, but overall, I really liked how he handled the whole game. He had some moments where he left his Star Dragon in for just like a bit too long, you know, and sometimes shit happens. But yeah, overall, really good decision making. Came down to the wire. Both players played it pretty great. I liked it a lot. That was some good shit. We don't get to see a lot of Shadow Warriors. That's exciting. Okay, the players sent me a replay. I thought I saved it, but I guess I didn't. So Koala Duck and Ian Zero have already sent me the replay. Let's see how it went. So Pigman 202 is in the finals, waiting for the winner of Rainy Frog versus Blank. Rainy Frog is fighting someone right now, but we're casting... I guess this is called the Losers Bracket Semifinals between Ian Zero and Koala Duck. The winner of this goes to fight Rainy Frog just before the finals. Human Boy, you reading my mind? Hell yeah. How's it going, human? It's going pretty good, friend. Only one side seemed to play that game. Archaon had some good charges. He had some good spell selection. His Chaos Knights of Zinch were played with pretty well. His trolls stayed alive as long as they could. Like, yeah. I don't think the Warriors of Chaos had a ton of agency, so they're not going to do anything flashy, but they also didn't make a lot of mistakes. All right, we got a new game on our hands, though. XMT Koala Duck with 4 Skin Wolves and 2 Norscan Ice Wolves for Norska. Then he has Marauder Spearman, the Brutes of the Hound, Berserker Regiment of Renown, a Shaman with Burning Head and Fireball, the Cold Voider, Frost from Arwar, and Throg, the Troll King. Against him, Ian Zero, making an impressive run in the losers bracket so far. Let's see if it continues. 4 Goblins, 2 Goblin Archers, one of which is the Rusty Arrows. We have 4 Squig Herds, the Hammer of Gork, Swamp Things, and 2 Stone Trolls. And then some Savage Orc Boarboy Biggins and the Moon Howlers. Big Burning Head coming out, going through the Goblin Archers, taking about a third of their HP, but maybe going to get them to rout with their leadership debuff. But man, that Shaman Sorcerer of Fire took a lot of damage in the meantime. Goblins and Squigs are sallying forth, and Throg is extending very far. Throg wants Wurzag dead. And if Wurzag throws Fists of Gork on these Stone Trolls right now, Throg is going to get a taste of his own medicine. And the Troll King will die to Trolls, which will be very ironic, and I'll be quite sad, so fuck it, let's do it. Stone Troll's getting the buff right now. Cold Voider is in, though. He's routing off those Goblins, and Norska is pushing up. Oh, no, disaster. The Shaman Sorcerer of Fire is already shattered. Marauder Spearman also taking a lot of damage, but the Greenskins might have too many aspects on this already won fight over here. They're overextending. And meanwhile, they're losing some other stuff. Stone Troll's still trying to kill Throg. Getting some decent damage down. Really nice damage down, actually. But yeah, all this stuff needs to rally from chasing off that Marauder Spearman. It needs to come back to the main forces. Greenskin getting a really good cavalry engagement as the Moonhowlers are getting eaten alive by Norscan Ice Wolf. That happens. But we have one Skin Wolf here that's completely idle while his friend gets murked. That's a good fight for the Greenskins. So the Greenskins are winning on the bottom side of our screen here. They've won that frontline fight. They're winning this flank fight by a bit. On the north side, the Norskins are pushing through a bit more, but it actually still looks like the Greenskins are doing okay up there. They're holding their ground. And then center, these Stone Trolls are holding for now. Awa gives them ITP, trying to keep him in it, trying to keep him from terror routing. And Throg's down to half HP, plus he's been regenerating this whole time, so he is losing a bit. Gaze of Mork misses entirely, but it's really more about the army-wide melee attack buffs. It's the Skin Wolves taking some damage on that top side, and Norska is looking out of sorts. Savage Orc Boarboy Biggins trying to fight Skin Wolves. These other Savage Orc Boarboy Biggins fighting Norscan Ice Wolves, barely keeping the Hammer of Gork online for now, which is firing into these melee, trying to debuff people's stats whenever it does happen to hit them. Squigs and Archers firing at the Cold Voider, getting some decent damage down. Wurzag is staying safe. But Skin Wolves are almost going to rout off these Stone Trolls, and yes, they do. Without any mobility presence whatsoever on the north side, the Greenskins are at the mercy of Norska if anything routes. And then the Savage Orc Boarboy Biggins are losing on the bottom side, giving Norska a really good way back into this game because they could take their mobile forces, move up here, kill the Hammer of Gork, take out a big value piece for the Greenskins. And then sandwich in the center fight, and all of a sudden things are looking pretty scary. Like we said before, these Stone Trolls are routing, but it doesn't look like the Skin Wolves are onto them just yet, so they might be able to rally in the woods, regen up a little bit, and be okay. The Cold Voider is down to sub half HP, though, and Throg is still taking damage, and Effigy of the Gid is going to lock him in place in the middle of Goblins, and the Swamp Things are trying to get to him, but they're mostly stuck fighting the Brutes of the Hound, who are unbreakable, so the terror of the Swamp Things won't matter nearly as much. Cold Voider still taking a lot of damage. Balance of Power is going towards the middle. And yeah, Norska swept this bottom fight. Things were going so well for the Greenskins down here, and then it just went to shit all of a sudden. Savage Orc Boarboy Biggins showed that with that constant support they fold like paper. Yeah, this is another matchup where I personally prefer just Boarboy Biggins, because they're going to have enough melee attack. You don't need the frenzy of the Savage Orc version. And then the physical resistance isn't as valuable as armor versus Skin Wolves, because Skin Wolves don't actually have good armor piercing. Stone Trolls were rallied. They're trying to fight Marauder Spearman right now. Goblins are trying to fight Skin Wolves, but I think those are still two fights Norska will win. And Wurzag is now being pursued by the Skin Wolves. The healing of Norska is outdoing the healing of the Greenskins. The Trolls are not healing as much as the Skin Wolves and Throg. Troll King really proving his worth here. Warzag is holding up the balance of power by being the full health caster lord, and Norska's already lost their caster, and their lord is at half HP. But if you look at anything else, they have two still healthy, still regenerating skinwolves running shock through the greenskin lines. The Swamp Things are almost going to route 2. We have a third skinwolf coming in, and it's just too much for the greenskins. They're not going to be able to hold. That's looking like it. Stone Trolls managed to route those Marauder Spearmen, so they are going to rejoin the fight, but I don't know. They can't. One Stone Troll can't kill 3 regenerating Skinwolves. Warzag gets stuck in him. He's fighting to his best. Moshi, you did great. You did great, buddy. Yep, the only thing to remember, and I'm not saying you did it, I'm just saying the only thing to remember is don't camp in a forest. If you end up in a forest and you fight in a forest, like this fight's happening in a forest, that's fine. But if you're in a forest and like the enemy isn't, try and get to them. But like, I reviewed that game, as we all saw. I thought it was fine. You were always trying to attack something. I didn't see you just standing around with your dick in your hand, so that's fine. All right, the next game is ready. They have a replay to send to us, so we'll get right into that. Norska really did scrap this back after a terrible start, losing their caster. Yeah, they hung in there. That was some tenacity. And I think that is really about it. Warzag is now surrounded, and he is the last thing on the battlefield. Throg is coming in for him. And Throg's still at the HP we've seen him at all game. I know he's been regenerating, but it's like he got surrounded, he got down to half HP, and then he stayed at half HP for the entire game. That shit's awesome. I think that's over, yeah. GG. Ian Zero's run comes to an end, and Koala Duck's star continues to rise. I did tell you that Koala Duck could have a pretty good run through the losers bracket, though. Just glancing over the values, didn't really have anything crazy to say. The Rusty Arrows got insane value, but that's about it. Norscan Ice Wolves also got really, really good value. Golden Floof. That's pretty funny. I like that. All right, the bracket is caught up. I'm going to show it to you real fast before they report any scores. There you go. Pigman is in the finals. Rainy Duck and Rainy Frog and Koala Duck are in the losers bracket, but I don't want them to report their scores since apparently their game is done or close to done. So I didn't want to spoil anything for you. Skin was getting buffed regen in Warhammer 3 is pretty stonks. I'm gonna refresh my stream. Yeah, it wasn't updating its stats anymore, which makes me sad. So y'all want to see something? You want to see something? Okay, here we go. Here's my John FB. Nice. Only one because he took your bicycle boy. So you want to see some good shit? Turn off large armies. I have been having a lot of Skaven success with fucking Plague Monks. Plague Monks are awesome. Plague Monks are awesome. And I want to take a second to talk about Plague Monks. And it's funny that John FB joined right now because he's also a quite good Skaven player. He's quite good. We love John FB. He's a quite good Skaven player, but he doesn't believe in the Plague Monks like I do. This is an interlude until I get the next replay. But I've had a lot of problems defending my backline, like we mentioned with the Father Ramsey game we spectated earlier, where Beastman just blitzed through his front line. And I've been having problems with that, so I've been throwing in a couple Plague Monks to hold the front line. And they really do wonders for you. So you might notice that something looks a little odd about those Plague Monks. Plague Monks, their stats, 28-25 melee attack and melee defense. See that right there? That shit is not impressive. You might say, Human Boy, 10 armor, 25 melee defense. You stupid fucking idiot. How can that help you in your front line? Oh, 43-33. Those are wildly different stats than we just saw. Yeah. Plague Monks have two different passives that work in their favor. They have Strength in Numbers, a very little known Skaven passive. +8 melee defense, +6 leadership as long as your health is above half. Then they have Frenzy. So they get 18 melee stats, 8 melee defense, 10 melee attack from passives. And then they have 15% physical resistance, which makes them actually kind of scary combatants. They have actually pretty good stats. And then they have 7 more bonus versus infantry, which means these motherfuckers have 50 melee attack versus infantry base. These are 650 gold Plague Monks. 50 melee attack versus infantry. But it gets better. I always pair them with a Grey Seer. Now, what does a Grey Seer do? Anybody near him gets 5 more melee attack. So if he happens to be next to these fuckers, 5 more melee attack. And the enemy gets -4 leadership if he happens to be nearby. If he's not nearby, he gives global 16 leadership on a cooldown to keep these guys in their frenzy. Because remember, frenzy relies on their leadership. And if I cast any of my motherfucking spells, the enemy loses 12 melee attack and loses 4 more leadership. So these guys, with a melee defense of 33, and I'm lowering their melee attack by 12, that makes effectively their melee defense is something around 45. That's insane. For 650 gold, that's insane. You just take cheap ruin spells, you spam the shit out of them, and your Plague Monks ain't going nowhere. They're never gonna die. And Unholy Clamor gives vigor. It's insane. It's the most insane thing I've ever seen in my life. I'm having so much fun playing with Plague Monks. It has rejuvenated my energy to play with Skaven. I love it. They're the fucking best. They're the fucking best. 650 gold well spent. These guys will trash can anybody. They don't give a single fuck. They're so awesome. I've been having so much fun with Plague Monks, man. Wither plus Plague Monk was the first ever build I had success with in multiplayer. I have a hard time going with Ruin because with Wither because you need to go Plague, and Plague Rash just isn't as good as Ruin is for me. Yeah, I just really like spamming out Warp Lightning and Scorch. It depends on the matchup. Warp Lightning and Scorch if your opponent has no flyers. Warp Lightning and Howling Warp Gale if your opponent has flyers. And you might be like, well, how do I know if they're going to have flyers? Greenskins literally don't. Beastmen do. So, yeah, take Howling Warp Gale there. Slaanesh literally doesn't. They have Azazel, but who cares? They have some Chaos Furies, but who cares? Just take, if you're fighting Slaanesh with Skaven, just take the Warpstone Scroll. It's an AoE Spirit Leech in the sky for flying units, and that's fine. Because Slaanesh, they're going to dive you with their flyers instantly, and their flyers are going to die. So why have a net for flyers that aren't going to exist after the first minute of the game? And Azazel, good luck in netting Azazel anywhere. That guy's so fucking slippery, so just don't bother. Anyway, Tomb Kings don't have any flyers you care about. Carrion or ass, so don't take Howling Warp Gale. Wars of Chaos don't have any flyers you care about. Don't take Howling Warp Gale. Because Manticore, like, you might be like, oh, Manticores, you're being stupid, Manticores. Bro, net a Manticore, hit it with 5 Rattling Guns. See what happens. See how useful that fucking net was. You know what's a better net? Rampage. You know what Manticores have? Rampage. Just Rampage them. It's a better net than you're ever going to get, because then it never wears off. The enemy just loses control of it. It throws itself into your Plague Monks, your Rat Ogres, your Eshin Triads, your Clan Rats with Spears, and it kills itself. It's fine. Netting it with Howling Warp Gale, you're going to shoot it, nothing's going to happen, you wasted your Winds of Magic, and you look like an asshole. What video you had showing off epic Plague Monks? They beat Cathay's frontline pretty bad, and then I lost to Xiao Ming, but that's about it. Alright, I have a ping on Discord. Is it a replay for me? Alright, let's go. Let's go. I am going to put you guys... somewhere else. Okay, I'm just going to change the name of that replay. Because the name of the replay gives away who won. Seems legit. Alright, we've changed the replay to a nice family-friendly name. Rainy Frog versus Koala Duck. The winner will fight Pigman 202 in the finals. Don't you be talking shit to my rattlings? Yeah, John. Yeah. Like I said, John is also a very good Skaven player. He and I play it differently, and I don't think that's a bad thing. I think it's good. I think that's part of what keeps this game interesting, is people discovering little things or people having little flavor that they play with. I think if there was objectively one correct build for every single matchup, then this game would get boring very quickly. Alright, for Rainy Frog and the Ogres, we have one flanking Gorger in the distance. We have 2 Saber-Tusk packs, triple Lead Belchers, a whole bunch of Ogre Bulls, some with dual weapons, some without, 5 Nobbler Trappers, and a Slaughtermaster of the Great Maw. On the other side, for the Vampire Coast, 4 hand cannons, as Tian is saying it. 5 zombie deckhand mouths with polearms, 2 deck gunners, which, by the way, little Vampire Coast note, I have soured so hard on deck gunners, it's insane. Deck gunners are trash except for the Regiment of Renown. The Regiment of Renown is unironically amazing, but basic deck gunners are dog shit. I can't tell you why, I just know they are. I can't get them to do anything. Triple depth guard with polearms, one of which is the Bloody Reaver deck guard, 2 animated hulks, and Count Noctilus on foot with Melkostas by Miasma and his heal. Deck gunners firing into Nobblar trappers as the trappers start to shoot at some of the coast front line. What they want to do is get into melee with them to break their charge defense and then charge in with the ogres, but they are just getting out free little missile damage right now, so that's good play from the ogre. Good play from the ogres, no notes. Hand cannons trying to tee off onto our ogre bull friends. Let's see how much damage this does. Bim bam boom. 1/3 HP off those boys. They're now trying to get through the Bloody Reaver depth guard, and Saber-Tusk packs are rejoining the fight. Now, as I have said many times, but if you have not heard it before, ogres like fighting undead because it charges their passive so quickly. They'll get so much army passive. Ogres don't like fighting undead because undead are spooky and their leadership is low. So it's a double-edged sword. But yes, the undead can provide a lot of army passive and therefore a lot of healing, a lot of buffs, and slows for the ogres. Saber-Tusk packs have gotten into the backline, shutting down some deck gunners. Both of them are already feeling a bit of the sting, and Gorgers are still creeping along, trying to rejoin the fight. More Saber-Tusk packs get inside, and of the hand cannons, we started off with 4 or 5, I forget. 3 of them are dying, and only 1 is still online. The depth guard, how are they doing? They're going to be important in this game. All 3 of them are very healthy, and so is Count Noctilus. The ogres aren't feeling so hot, Mr. Krabs, but there's a very important aspect. They have lead belchers. If this gets to a late game where you only have melee units, those lead belchers are going to kite your ass into the sunset. They will never die, and they will kill all of you. Did lead belchers lose the deck gunners? Probably, because that's not a duel they want to be taking. Oh my god, the Gorgers got massacred! What the fuck? Hand cannons are eating them alive as the Gorgers seem to have lost their attack orders or something. They're currently just standing around. Ogre Bulls get a charge into the last hand cannon, taking them out on a massive charge, doing so much damage. The last deck gunner fades away. Both the hand cannons are gone. Actually, one is rallied in the front, and it's doing okay. And lead belchers ended up in melee? Oh no, how did this happen? Run away! Run away, lead belchers. You're needed in the late game if ogres are gonna stand a chance. You need to get the fuck out of here. But there's a butcher tier 3 army ability, because human boy's always right about everything. I have a message, is it important right now? Alright. Yeah. Tier 3 army ability, Butcher, going to heal up these lead belchers as they run away. The Bloody Reaver deck guard are out and about, but as long as the lead belchers keep their distance from them, they'll be okay. Animated Hulk's getting killed. The Chaff is getting killed. The last of the hand cannons is getting picked off. The ogres are doing everything they need to do. They're down to the balance of power right now, and I fully understand why they're down to the balance of power, but I think in the current game state, they're doing just fine. All they have to do is keep the lead belchers away from the depth guard, and they can win this game. Actually, I don't know what's going to kill Noctilus, so keep the depth guard away from your lead belchers and keep some ogre bulls alive. Then you'll be fine. It's not like you can just throw everything away. But, yeah. Gorgers in here, still fighting, still doing their best. And Gorgers can do okay against Count Noctilus. They have really high melee attack and bonus versus infantry, which is everything you need versus Noctilus. He's already popping some summons to try and save himself. Meanwhile, one of the Depth Guard is getting eaten alive by a Lead Belcher. It's already almost dead. Another Depth Guard is right here, and the Bloody Reaver Depth Guard. They're taking a lot of damage. Oh, you're trying to figure out why Orc King's pushed up? I think the deck gunners would outtrade Lead Belchers, and it wouldn't be worth your ammunition, because your ammunition is precious. Look, they're all running a little low, because they're just not accurate at range versus deck gunners, who are also really spread out. So, no. The Ogres had to take them out in melee. I think that was 100% the correct choice. I think they played it great. Bloody Reaver deck guard starting to crumble a bit, which is great. A Troll Guts is even coming in for these Lead Belchers. Brother Deck Guard just disintegrate. The other Depth Guard are also fading away, and the Ogres pull ahead on the balance of power. But I'm getting a little concerned. I wish that Troll Guts, the Troll Guts that was just cast somewhere on these guys, I wish that was cast on the Gorgers. Because the Gorgers are going to be needed to deal with Noctilus. Lead Belchers can't do shit to Noctilus, unfortunately. But yeah, Lead Belchers, once again, eating these Depth Guard for breakfast. Since they're at close range, they can't possibly miss, and they're just doing so much damage. With the help of some Nobbler Trappers, things are looking really, really good. Nobbler Trappers are pushed off. I'm getting a little concerned, actually. There's not a lot left to deal with Nocti. Lead Belcher's firing in. Oh, it's just a firing range on these poor Depth Guard, man. Everything's gone. It's Noctilus. That's it. He throws out a summon quick, but he himself is doing just fine. Melkoth specifying Miasma even cast onto the Ogre Bulls. He doesn't have the natural summons, so that's his second Moon Dial, so he doesn't have any more summons at all. Lead Belcher's firing it on the Gorgers, but they get a Butcher. Yeah, that's the second Butcher of the game. I told you they're going to get army passive. I told you. I don't know why you didn't believe me. I don't know why you got so aggressive about it. I don't know why you called me all those names. But you did, and we can't forget it. Oh, the Lead Belcher friendly fire. Oh, my God. Oh, that was so fucking painful. Troll Guts coming in for the Gorgers, trying to keep them alive as the Lead Belchers continue to kill off the summon, but also their own Gorgers. They're just killing them. They're just killing their own Gorgers. Oh my God, they're down to 2 bottles. Holy shit. Lead Belcher's firing on Noctilus, and army losses is going to take him out. As the Lead Belchers, we're going to get actually decent damage onto him, so hold on. Hold on. And Rainy Frog will go to the finals, which now I can reveal the whole bracket to you. So we are getting a delayed best of 3 between Rainy Frog and Pigman. In that best of 3, quote unquote, Rainy Frog is down 0-1. But if he can beat Pigman here, there is a second battle. And as an extra special treat for everybody, the players are doing picks and bans. I was about halfway through the replay when they messaged me asking if they should wait. And since I knew I was close to being done with the replay, I said sure. So we're joining up with them. They should be done with the picks and bans. They should be done with the armies. And we will be casting this last game live. Unless Rainy Frog wins it, then we'll be casting 2 games live. But if Pigman 202 wins this game or the next, this shit is over. Over, over, over. All right. While they figure their stuff out, what are we doing? Who's the host? Rainy is? Okay, I'll message him. Map is Fey Fork. Crossroads if you win and we go to last game. They're confused about how I structured the map. So, all right, I'm gonna grab some water. I'll be right back. Oi. I don't know. Just get over here.
Come
Yeah, get in there.
Come on. Come here.
Scoopy boy.
Go
Family
on.
meeting.
Man.
Come on, Grace. Family meeting.
Family
Oh.
meeting.
We have a puppy and a moo cow and a Grace.
Hi, puppy.
Grace, they liked your video.
That's nice.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad.
Mm-hmm. And you gotta do a whole tournament of giving everybody armies
That could be fun.
and playing in it.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about that part.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think anyone wants to see that.
Well, we're gonna see it. The tournament's just gonna be everybody fighting you one by one, several hours. Mukau's confused. He's like, Dad.
He's loving it though.
He didn't love getting his bum sniffed by Hazel briefly.
That's true. But you know, it happens.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Thanks for saying hi, Bobo.
there goes the puppy. Yeah.
Yeah, Mukau's also gonna get going.
Come on, little cow.
Flop.
Come on, little boy. Oh,
You good?
maybe, or maybe he's gonna stay with you.
But I have to shut the door. And he hates that.
Yeah, that's true. Come on, Moo. Come on.
There you
Come
go.
on. Hold on.
And this turned into a wholesome stream? Always. The pillow is supervising us? Yeah, dude, this chair without the pillow, it has no lumbar support whatsoever. All right. Pigman asked me a question about his build. So, hi, lamb sauce. Hey, John B. Oh. Oh. Also, I'm scared for this matchup because Warriors of Chaos versus Vampire Counts is one of the historically most degenerate things in the whole history of the world. And I'm kind of surprised about something. I'm kind of surprised with something. Anyway, back in Warhammer 2, this was still degenerate because it was just 6 skirmish cav of chaos and then a blob of like chosen or something versus the vampire counts, and every game was a really long kite fest. In game 3, it's usually a blob battle. So it's never been particularly great. But there is something about this matchup that did change and is very interesting, and I'm curious if we'll see it. I wanna type to the players, but that is super unethical, so I'm not gonna do that. Alright, because I can't hold it any longer, I'm gonna type to Frog because it's not him. If Frog just messages back, he won't. That's funny. It's just secret messages now. Is this legal? Yeah. Sorry. He's just making sure he doesn't make any whoopsies. All I want to do is talk about this. So now I'm just waiting. That's all I want. That's all I want to do. I don't want to rush Pigman. So I'm not trying to rush him. I'm just excited. That's all. All right, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Frog gets away with murder. You can't play this matchup. You can't. Harold Hammerstorm exists. Thankfully for everybody, he didn't bring it. But Harry exists, my guy. He turns undead mortal, so they just flee. Their shit leadership, they just flee. And he could have the Mutilith Vortex Beast and the Healing Caster that he already has, but then your army can't even hold its shit together. It would just rout all the time. Frog, you madman. There's a reason you can't play this matchup. Holy shit. We got so lucky. Severed Claw guarding Festus, change our mind. He thought about that. But he asked me ahead of time, so he didn't have any rules issues. And the Mutilith Vortex Beast has an AoE drain, and Festus also has an AoE drain, so you can't take them both at the same time. But he fixed it. Who that? Harold Hammerstorm? He was a free LC character. He's the big red corn-looking guy in your hero slot. But he has, here, I'll pull him up. Harold Hammerstorm, Bane of the Undead, -4 leadership, removes undead attribute. It makes him impossible for the vampire counts to play against. The Coast and the Tomb Kings can kind of deal with him because they have ranged units, but the counts, since they're all melee, they have to just walk into Harry and he completely fucks their day. It's really funny, but I would have been so sad if our finals was decided like that because it would have just been completely unwinnable. All right. All right. So the blocker's down and shit, right? Okay. So if you want a game 3, I guess, between these guys is what we would call it. But if you want to go into the final game, you're rooting for the undead. Pigman 202 does have a safety net behind him. He can lose this game, but if he wins this game, it's all over. He won the whole thing because he is a god gamer. For Rainy Frog, we have 4 Cryptors. Some zombies, some skeleton spearmins, a lot of those. Double Terror Goose. And then we have the Blood Dragon Vampire Lord on his Hell Steed. That's their Pegasus version. Did he forget to bring it, or was he a good sport? I'll leave that up to your imagination. Also, I know Pigman's been in the chat, so he can answer you himself after the game. Anyway, on the other side, we do have a super spooky degenerate blob versus the vampire counts. Looks like we have 3 Chaos Warriors with halberds, a Chosen with halberd, a Severed Claw, 2 armored Chaos Trolls with some chevrons to try and give them better leadership. We have a Chaos Sorcerer Lord of Nurgle with Fleshy Abundance, Miasma of Pestilence, and Stream of Corruption. We have Aecold Hellbrass, and we do have the Mutilith Vortex Beast. Still a very good build, still a very good way to play this matchup. It's just Harry Hammerstorm. I would put Harry in here instead of Aecold and maybe cut one of the Chaos Warriors with halberds, and then this would be a very scary blob. It's already a scary blob, but that would make it very scary. Vampire Lord, not on Dragon. Double Goose, why? Because Rainy Frog doesn't give a fuck. Looking at his build, I just think he plain forgot. And also, if, like, that's true, John. But I also think, shitposting aside about Harry, still looking at these builds, I think Chaos has got it, man. This is a well put together build. It's pretty good versus vampire counts. Terrorgeist getting some breath attacks in, but they are not dragons. Their breath attacks are significantly weaker. Still getting good damage, but they're not as insane as dragons. Mutalith Vortex Beast is starting his long drain. His work that must be done. And the terror begins. Really nice Stream of Corruption is going to take out pretty much the whole tithe and a Skeleton Spearman. Mutalith Vortex Beast gets dove on by the Terrorgeist. Anti-large duelist versus anti-large duelist, but the Mutalith Vortex Beast is not going to take the duel out on his own. He is just going to retreat to his forces. He has plenty of halberds waiting for him at home. He has trolls he can try and hide in, so he is just going to path back while he still has some shields. He's going to get back in there and get to safety. Blood Dragon Vampire Lord has dove down. He has Helm of Discord out and a Sword of Heroes and Heart Piercing. But he's having trouble really making an impact, and the Crypt Horrors are in now. But the Mutalith is going to drain everything around him down. And now he's even trying to take a fight with the Terrorgeist. Now that he's standing on his own halberds, he's feeling really confident. Are the Goose Breaths still meant for SE? Honestly, they're worse against SE than Dragon Breaths are. They're just worse than Dragon Breaths for everything. Yeah, I think Terror Goose Breaths are just worse. Crypt Horrors, after taking significant damage, back out, deciding they don't want any more of this shit anymore. Any more of this shit anymore. Yeah. Yeah. That's language right there. Because the fucked up part is I was using that correctly. Any more quantity, any more time. Two different anymores. Same sentence. Get this man a Pulitzer Prize. Anyway, Terrorgeist taking a lot of damage. Balance of Power tipping heavily against the vampire counts. I can't say I disagree, as the damage value is also rocketing up for the Warriors of Chaos. A lot of the chaff is fading, falling away. The Terrorgeist trying to heal up. An Overcast Invocation into the heck, keeping the Terrorgeist healthy-ish, trying to reverse that crumbling. It does also have natural regen, so a lot of healing in for those Terrorgeists. But man, nothing is taking damage on the side of the Warriors of Chaos. There's not even a Mortis engine for the vampire counts to get a little bit of love back. And is that an Overcasted Fleshy Abundance? That's an Overcasted Fleshy Abundance that hit literally the whole army. Oh boy, they're healing. Oh boy, they're healing, ladies and gentlemen. The Warriors of Chaos troop count was 431 and is now 372. The enemy troop count is 800, and it used to be 1,500. A bit of a difference. Bit of a difference going on there. Crypt Horrors trying to cycle charge in a bit. It's not going their way. I think Pigman 202 the Greatest might, in fact, take the fat dub. No Mortis or Carts, big deal. It is a big deal. The Terror Geest are trying to outduel the Mutalith Vortex. It's just not going their way whatsoever. And that Overcasted Fleshy Abundance really put the nail in the coffin on things as Chaos just healed right back up. They've taken so little casualties. I wish healing wasn't a thing. Bwags, that's bold coming from you because you are a Wood Elf player. They actually have a good amount of healing. It's just they got completely outscaled by the amount of healing introduced in Game 3, but also just in general. Like, the Lore of Life is a Game 1 spell, and it's still insane. Terrorgeist is having trouble landing. There he goes. He finally lands, but now he's in the middle of Halberd, so is he even really wanting to be here? Bounce Power is nearing Army Loss's terrain, as now the Warriors of Chaos have almost lost 100 guys. Meanwhile, the Vampire Counts lost over 1,000. Chaos Trolls not even routing, and if even the Trolls are feeling secure, that's a spooky timeline to live in. Skeleton Warrior Summon is on their backfield, though. That might get the Chaos Trolls to rout. Oh, yeah. I'm not saying the Wood Elf shouldn't have healing. I'm just saying a Wood Elf player saying healing shouldn't exist, then you know he means it. If it was like a Beastman player saying healing shouldn't exist, you're like, all right, fucking malding-ass Beastman player. So everyone just has to join you with no healing on your roster besides that Gorgon? All right, cool. But no. No, this is a Wood Elf. We can trust him. Wood Elf mains are universally trustworthy. Rule break check? Nah, dude, you're totally good. You're completely chilling. Big chillin'. Values, Mutal Vortex Beast got a lot. Halberds also got a lot. On the other side, Blood Dragon Lord did not get a ton. Terrorgeists each got about 1,000. Crypt Horrors and the Skeletons mostly got shellacked. Gorgons exist. I said besides Gorgons. No, Washi, you did great. I think Harry's a loser. Harry is a loser. That's fair. But good wins, brother. Good wins, Pigman 202. Mutoth might be overtuned. Maybe. I don't think, like, Rainy Frog is a Chad. And I wish him all the best in the world. He's been on the stream multiple times for our campaign streams. He had one of my favorite quotes of all time when he said, "I'm going to take your settlement." So I love Rainy Frog. But I will say, I think that build was suboptimal. I think the Warriors of Chaos build was completely on point. I think it was an excellent Warriors of Chaos build. So it's a very hard matchup for the Vampire counts. Very, very hard. And then Rainy Frog's build was not completely there. I don't think it mattered how perfectly he played it, because I didn't see Rainy Frog making any mistakes, really. I think he played it great. I think his build just didn't have the juice, and sometimes that's what happens here. That's 2 tourney wins starting within 1 week. Fuck yeah, Woshi. Get it. Get it! All right. So that is it for the stream tonight. I thought there were a lot of fun games. I had a grand old time. Yeah. Thanks to everybody who played. Congratulations to Rainy Frog for getting to the finals. Congratulations even more to Pigman 202 for winning said finals and still having an extra life if he needed it. I have to go to work tomorrow morning, and then we'll be streaming again for you. I have a countdown on the channel if you want to know when that stream is, but it may be 1 hour earlier. I messaged the tournament host because there's some clarification about CET versus CEST. European summertime or European time. So I'm not sure. So it might be 1 hour earlier. I've contacted the host, but I'll let you guys know. But we have a Battle of the Atlantic tomorrow, and then Sunday we'll have a quick little bingo stream. That'll be fun. The stream itself will be very, very short, but hopefully the players behind the stream will have fun playing some silly games. Do I rank up now from Bone Ripper? Yes. Yeah, I'll message you, buddy. All right. Bye, everybody. Goodbye.